We're live. How you doing?
I'm so sad.
So sad
that
you wore red today.
That my guy didn't, just can't accept.
Yeah.
The loss. The like the absolute torching.
It's crushing.
Actually, I was going to say this when we were talking about it earlier, and my friend Elliot, who is very smart, said, "I get it. He's just collecting. He's still asking for donations to pay back his campaign debt. Because up to 50% of someone's donation can be used for that.
Yeah.
And he's still sending tweets out or messages out
asking for money. Yeah.
And Riley Silverman said it perfectly. She was like, as long as they don't give more money to make the Georgia Senate,
right, because
we want Stacey Abrams.
There are still elections that are still happening.
Right. So hey, don't give money to them. But geez, like what? He's scamming America.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Red is next time. Today is blue.
Because I drink water like a real man.
That's right. I switch back and forth. Then they know. They keep track. Blue
last time.
Right, but in between it was red, then blue, then red, then blue. I'm very patriotic that way.
Okay. Is it? I think this is Arizona. It's a coyote.
Yeah.
And so, did Arizona go blue?
It's going to. Not officially
yet. So this is me being patriotic.
Although, if you watch Fox News, they declared Arizona like a week ago. So, almost before the election.
Did they really? I remember that. It's been confusing, right? I secretly converted to Norse paganism. I'm trying to keep it low-key. I love Loki.
I've been rewatching some MCU just to have on in the background. And
I could stand to rewatch it.
It's good.
I because I live tweeted so much of it.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. It was like
actually watching the movies.
Kinda. So this morning I rewatched the Heartbeats episode last night, and I was like, that happened. And I was in it.
Sure. But
so it's amazing, like how like you're busy looking for backgrounds, or like my mic was out of control, so you just miss things.
You're busy, yeah.
But
that makes sense.
I like when you stayed away from a movie for so long that the ending surprises you again.
Yeah.
I like that. So I'm almost there. Fox News is probably drinking heavily right now. So someone tweeted that Fox News is saying the protesters are obviously not violent because you'll smell a strong waft of marijuana, and they've been popping champagne since the morning. Wow. So just true to form. That's all.
Oh, we should have gotten some champagne.
I can order it. Would you drink? Yeah, you like champagne.
I do like champagne. I mean, I wouldn't drink a lot of it, but
order it. I'm glad. This is exciting for me.
Okay.
Because it's a good day.
It is. Yes, it is.
It's a good day.
We'll see how everything else goes.
Compare which god in the Warhammer universe most closely reflects Trump.
Ooh.
Guys, I can't afford it. I need pants for Christmas. If you guys want to get me anything for Christmas, please, a Madewell gift certificate. Please. What? We're gonna make me pants?
No. We'll talk about it later.
What? Okay. Am I supposed to trust you on this?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't. That's an interesting question, because he has aspects of every one of the Warhammer Chaos Gods.
Before I had seen, speaking of the MCU, this is gonna sound so bad. I thought gauntlet wielding man Thanos was Trump. It was an allegory for Trump.
Oh, sure.
He's not.
No. Well, I mean,
I'm starting to think Thanos.
You might call it that.
Sort of, but he's actually too idealistic and actually thinking.
That he's doing good.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't know that Thanos was totally wrong. That we would do better with half the population in totality. What he made a mistake doing.
Okay, I'm listening.
Was not snapping away people's memories of the other people.
That doesn't mean they didn't exist. If you had but let's posit this though. If you have ultimate power, and you somehow think that there are too many people, couldn't you just wish for like
multiple worlds or
more worlds, more food? Like it seems like there's so many other ways you could accomplish your goal without annihilating half of all population.
But in reality,
or get rid of bad people. I mean, like it's just so
but if we
random.
don't have bad
so...
people, we won't know who good people are. And the other thing about it is, what is more likely to happen in our world? Half of the population dies, or we actually feed everybody?
Well, right, but that's why you have a wish to change things.
It's impossible.
Okay.
It's impossible.
Okay.
That's why there's a new world order. That's why people want there to only be, like, I think the max number is like 300,000 people max on the planet.
What?
Yeah, it's something crazy like that.
That's
Not even
ridiculous.
It doesn't even come to 1 million. And like
who is saying this?
It's really
fringe.
really fringe.
Okay.
And like so fringe that it was like from 2012 that I was here is getting talked about on Coast to Coast and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's true, also, Roy. Nobody ever accused Thanos of being smart. And again, and as Rob Vegas is saying, so they had to sort of like invent this whole idea for why Thanos is doing what he's doing in the MCU. Because in the comics, I don't know how much you know about.
I know zero.
Thanos is a completely ridiculous character in the comics. He is literally in love with death personified as a woman. So that's why he goes out to just annihilate everybody just to impress his girlfriend.
Is that
he's a total
why?
he's a total incel, and
ew, he's a simp?
Yes.
He's a simp for,
yes.
He's a simp for death?
100%, yes.
What?
So they're like, well, is that really going to work in our MCU movies? No. So we got to give him some.
I think I'm going to buy 2 because I saved $6.
Sure.
I spend another 15.
It's always that.
But champagne's always good though too.
That's true.
Well, get 2, and what else do we want? What else does mommy want today?
I don't know.
So, yeah, that was one of my late night thoughts recently. Was like, I think it would have worked. You're right though. We could have just got rid of pain and suffering.
Right. I mean,
horrible people.
Anyway. It's fine.
That's that's $15 of pants money. That's not how life works. I have things that cover my legs pretty well. At the moment, I don't have alcoholized bubbles.
Sure. I mean, you could always like just wear a towel. There are other things you could wear instead of
underwears.
Pants. That's good. That's a step in the right direction.
I have underwear.
This country is moving in the right direction.
I want not.
Sheets, right? There are lots of things you can wear.
Sheet togas. Rob Vegas, are we divorced?
Rob, we needed you on my stream yesterday.
No one needed you.
We were talking about parts of boats and what part is at the very bottom of the boat. Is that the keel? Where's the keel? I figured Rob would know, and Rob wasn't there to answer. Yes, okay, cool. Thank you, Rob. Yeah, so Warhammer is a thing.
Oh, what's what we're supposed to do today?
I mean, we did announce it.
So you guys were saying a bunch of words that I had no idea.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk. Okay, so we're gonna talk about a few things today that are gonna be fun.
I thought like it was like a
squats.
Workout.
Oh my goodness, squats. No, you're not here to do any workouts. Don't worry, unless you want.
I should.
If you want to, you can. But yeah, I just wanted to real quick go over. So one of the reasons why we're doing Saturday streams is because Saturday is when Games Workshop actually comes out with the new products and has the pre-orders for the following week.
The keel is also known as the beam. It is the big of long, thick, like it's where you attach the bitch to it. Sorry.
What?
You put the mermaid?
Oh, well that's the prow. That's the front part. But it's fine.
It doesn't go all the way up to it?
Well, I think once it becomes the front, then it's a different.
Then it's the bow or the prow? What's a prow?
Well, the bow is the entire front. The prow is the actual tip. I don't know.
It attaches to the keel. Okay, I finally feel like I can read stuff again. Which Warhammer 4K should I dive into? Tell me, Scott.
Oh, thank you. Hey,
hi, Cameron Rice. We win. We won.
Just the tip, right? That's the prow. Yes. So today, in your local store or your local Warhammer store or online, what is actually that's a very limited edition model from Japan. Don't eat that one. We'll get to that in just a minute. Anyway, yeah. So the new stuff that's out this weekend are a bunch of Deathwatch stuff. Now, if you're not, do you know what Deathwatch is?
Are they the gross?
Oh, that's
Marines
Death Guard. Very close.
Oh.
Somebody actually made a funny meme of like all the similar sounding things in Warhammer
It's
and be like,
confusing
this
me.
does not equal this, even though it sounds very similar.
It is a lot.
So Deathwatch are special Space Marines. They're special.
These are your boys.
They're so I was gifted some Deathwatch stuff, so now I have to make a Deathwatch army, which will be like my 5th army.
So it's not the same as Space Marines.
It's not. They are Space Marines, but here's what happens.
Okay.
So when there's a really terrible thing going on, they call it Space Marines, right?
Your
the
guys.
Imperium, yes. But when there's like the worst, craziest thing going on, they call the Deathwatch.
Are they aligned?
Yes. So what happens, the Deathwatch is made up of Space Marines from all different chapters brought together to like be the most elite of the elite forces.
How many points are they?
More than Space Marines. This is one of, they call this a your codex, your army. There's a term for it. Basically, you can customize every model in your army, and they're all very expensive. So points wise, so when you want to play an army of like the fewest number of figures, this is one of the ones because they're so powerful, relatively speaking, and very expensive.
Okay.
So you'll notice on here.
Key hauling is when you throw a long rope off the prow so it goes under the ship sideways. Then you tie someone's hands and feet to the rope, literally drag them down underwater across the keel and back up the other side. Getting but they survive. They're not executed for their crimes and continue to serve the...
I just watched a movie where they did that. What was that?
What?
Yeah, where they were dragging, and then he survived and they let him go. What was? I just watched that.
How many times do you drag him?
Until you feel good about it. Yeah, they did it for kind of like for fun and whatever I just watched.
That's awful.
I can't remember what it was. Anyway, so you'll see so Deathwatch. Okay, give me one of those little guys. Yep, just the guy. Yep. Okay, so say your Marines looked like this. Say your chapter had pink armor like
Pee-wee's Big Adventure. What's a keyhole though?
A keyhole?
When you keyhole somebody. Guys, best answer in the chat.
I don't know.
Get the best answer in the chat to what a keyhole is.
Okay, so say battle brother John here. He was really good at killing aliens.
Okay.
Xenos. He was so good that Deathwatch heard about it. And they said, hey, we got this thing going on. We need you to come with us. So then what happens is, Brother John here, he gets this cool black armor with a silver arm.
Okay.
But he keeps one of his pink shoulder pads. Oh. That's how you know what chapter he's from originally. So if you look really closely, you can see they all have one colored shoulder pad on the opposite side of where the silver is.
Hansenizer says a keyhole is a sex thing in the Kingdom Hearts universe. That makes sense.
That does make sense. So yeah, so they're all of the Marines are black with silver arms, but then there's the one unique shoulder. So you can do really interesting stuff with all the different shoulder icons, and like they give you, these are one of the most coveted kits for people who need transfers for other armies. Like they're basically like stickers, but you put them on a special way because these come with so many different chapters for the Space Marines. Yes.
So you cannot get the stickers otherwise.
Some of them you can't, no. But you can in these kits. So anyway, Deathwatch stuff out today. A lot of it.
Okay.
New Space Wolves stuff is out today.
Okay.
There's a really cool orc model that was only previously available in a big
Was it the pig
box
one?
set. No, it's the biggest, baddest orc currently. There have been bigger ones, but it's a really cool model. I should have brought up a picture, but
cool.
I don't have that.
I like this.
We'll get to that
when
we talk about dwarves in just a moment.
Okay.
Another thing, Games Workshop this week announced that they want more people in their stores, which seems like an odd thing during a pandemic, but that's what they're doing. So they're going to offer a bunch of free crap. That's good. Right. So starting today in actual Warhammer stores, so you can't get this in like your local independent comic book store. Every month they're going to have a free miniature. You just walk in and say, "Do you have this? Do you still have any of these left?" And they'll give you one. In theory, we'll see how that goes. It starts today.
Probably people buy less because they're not in there.
Yeah, for sure. Right, so they just want people to come into the stores. And there's also, so every month there's going to be a free miniature that has something to do with that week's releases, or that month's releases. And then a coin, a special collectible coin.
Bitcoin.
You can only get that month, but you have to buy $100 worth of crap in order to get the coin.
Do you really need the coin?
Well, it depends on the... So they've only announced this month so far. They're going to... Because again, they don't announce things ahead of time so you can plan.
Does this coin matter at all to the universe?
Oh, no, of course not.
Do you want this coin?
Not the first one. So this first month they're doing Witch Elves and these Morathi.
Oh.
So this is the free miniature. So if you're into...
I want that.
She's neat. Yeah, it's a good mini. So that's the free mini.
Hi, Damon Blight.
And the
The coin will unlock the keyhole.
Oop. You get the coin. So that's the coin that, again, you have to spend $100 to get the coin. And of course...
And it's not real gold.
No. And then, of course, like you can buy or you can earn a little collector envelope to put your coins in. It's goofy, but that's what...
I mean, someone figured it out.
Yes.
You bought the whole 40K Risk board game? That's kind of cool.
There is a board game.
Let's see the one you want.
Well, they've only shown this one so far.
But how do you know you want the other one?
Oh, I don't. I'm just... Okay, so I play Space Marines. Games Workshop always is releasing new Space Marines, so I am 100% sure that in this
you heard it here
scheme
first.
Of things,
the first time Scott's gonna be wrong.
There will be Space Marines in this monthly plan they're doing. It will happen.
I believe you. You're certain.
I'm certain. Yeah.
Uzi asked, does Warhammer do a lot of fan service?
Yes. Not in the same way that anime might.
Oh, I think they also do and don't do fan service depending on what story.
Yeah, there are tons of little lore bits all the time. Not so much like panty shots, but I mean you get some of that too.
Is that what that means? Fan service?
Fan service is mostly it's like bouncing boobs and shots of panties and things like that. It's not all, but that's a lot of it. There you go.
Hi, squirrel.
Cheesecake, exactly. It's you know.
Okay.
Okay, so that's all of the stuff that's available now. I will say, if you are interested in any of those things, and you go to a store that's not an official Warhammer store, like a local comic book store, that sort of thing, call them, check, make sure you're pre-ordering. There have been a crazy amount of allocations these last few weeks and seemingly going forward.
What's allocations mean?
Where like your local comic book store who sells Warhammer stuff, they'll only get 2 of an item in.
Oh,
and then
weird.
If you're not like the first person to pre-order it, then you won't get it. It's
And that's how you got the other one from last week? Did you pre-order it?
I did. Okay. Yeah, although the bunker was easy because nobody else wanted it.
That's sad.
The rules aren't very good.
Oh.
But it's fine. How much does it... Which it? Well, you had a lot of its. Okay, so pre-orders for today. To get the coin, you have to spend $100 on other stuff, and then the coin is free. Et cetera, et cetera.
You show stuff off, gotta say the price.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'll try to do that going forward.
I think it's fair enough.
For sure, yeah. Oh, and again, we were talking last week about how there used to be start collecting boxes, and now they're switching over to these new combat patrol boxes. So this was the Deathwatch start collecting box, which had a watch captain, a dreadnought, and a Deathwatch kill team, which is what they're called, which is separate from the game kill team. It's annoying.
Can you say who gifted it to you?
Oh, he's not in chat.
I'm just curious. When were you given
David Patterson?
Oh.
Who you met. But
when was this given to you?
Oh, a little while ago.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, it's dusty.
Well, it's in my house. Of course it's... Oh, no. My allergies are bad enough today.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. So anyway, this was the old start collecting box. This is no longer available. The new combat patrol set instead has a Primaris Lieutenant, a Primaris Apothecary, 10 Intercessors, 3 Aggressors, and an upgrade frame.
$69. Uzi's right.
Okay, yes.
Are you so annoyed with me right now?
No, I'm not at all. Would you like me to be?
No. Maybe I'm trying. Okay, let me know when you are.
Pandar won a $500 Warhammer set. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that is
Congratulations.
cool. He's annoyed with you asking prices.
No, I just don't have that at hand.
Which is breaking his preparedness.
Yeah, right. I know, right? I have all these notes. Typically with Warhammer stuff, like if you need it for your army and you want it, the price doesn't matter. You'll just buy it. You just hand over your credit card and whatever they say goes.
That was like Beanie Babies. We did that.
Yeah. So pre-orders this week. There's some Warhammer Fantasy stuff, the Age of Sigmar, which I don't super follow. So if you are interested in that game, you can go and check on that. But it's more of those Witch Elves and the Morathi stuff. They're like evil elves. Well, I don't know if they're evil, but they're like snaky and there are a lot of ladies in it. So it's cool. They look good. The Terminator Chaplain I showed off last week that was brand new. That's still up for order. If you want one of those, you can order it for I think like one more day. And then there's some interesting things happening. First, Death Guard. You know them. You maybe love them. I don't know. I don't. They're gross. Over the last few years.
Are you crying? Are you choked up?
4 years now? Typically, Games Workshop sells stuff in boxes and, things like that. They started doing blind box things. They got the clue from Japan, especially. People love to buy things where you don't know what you're going to get.
Like fucking idiots who go to Comic-Con and buy the question boxes.
Oh, yes. Yes. So they started a line called Space Marine Heroes. And they've done 2 sets. This will be the 3rd. So the first set are these blue guys. So if you want to grab some of those.
The challenge is to see if I can get them
You don't have to get them all. Okay. So the idea was, these are what standard classic old Space Marines look like.
Ooh.
Thank you.
I didn't do that.
Somebody did. Somebody who has access to your account did.
Oh, I have to unmod Pandar again, so I forgot.
So here's like a boring old Space Marine. And then, go ahead. And then, so in this set of, there you go, of Space Marine Heroes, they released these Space Marines that look so much better. They have really good poses. That one I think is reloading. They come with decorative bases, so they're a little bit taller. They're actually really, really cool models.
Hey, my name is Frank. Just joined the team.
That's Frank.
And that's the skull of my brother there. That's why I fight. The only good bug is a dead bug.
It's true. So these were first released in Japan. I got a set sent to me from Japan. I paid for it, but that's how I got mine. And then they later released these in some other ways here in the United States. But these were really cool, and they were a huge success. I mean, it's obvious that they were going to be. They're really great models. They're push fit, so they all just sort of stick together.
But you probably use glue.
I use a little bit of glue.
Because you like it.
Each one came with an unhelmeted head and a helmeted head. Thank God. So
is that cool?
Yes. Well, it's good to have options, and I hate unhelmeted Space Marine heads.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. Absolutely it doesn't. So in Space Marines, the higher rank you are, the less likely you are to wear a helmet.
Why?
No
because
reason.
They're just like, fuck me, I'm so strong.
I don't like unhelmeted Space Marine heads. I think they usually look really ugly. So I like to put helmets on.
What are you saying about that guy's face?
I don't like their faces.
Okay.
Don't like their faces.
Okay.
Okay, so this was set number 1. They are blue. They are not actually Ultramarines. You can paint them however you want. They just came in blue plastic. There's no sculpted chapter markings on them.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't take my models.
I'm not taking your models. Where did they go? I
don't know where they
went.
went.
Where could I have taken them?
That was set 1. Set 2. Now this is a classic original Terminator. Bigger, blockier armor. Smaller. You better be careful. You just better be careful that you don't break anything. And then we get to the heroes. So here, look at this guy. Look at how goofy and chunky that is compared to any of these other red ones. So this was set 2, and these guys are amazing. They're huge, really good poses. Again, those decorative bases. These really show off like what Terminators should look like.
Oh, the lines are really clear.
Yeah, and they're so much bigger.
Are they?
Yeah, well,
That's not
they're
bigger.
wider. I'm sorry, they're
Oh.
wider. They're bigger as in like they take up more volume.
Well, his.
I mean, it's debatable whether Space
have
Marines
them?
even have a penis. We don't know. So yeah, these guys look really, really
Does
good.
he have a dong hanging?
So again, this was set number 2 of the Space Marine Heroes.
I would have never looked until you said it was wider.
Also first available in Japan. Then they came out here in other ways. They're always exclusives. Like a couple were just exclusive to Japan, and a
Ooh.
couple were exclusive here. So it was actually a pain to collect all of these.
Wolverine boy was cool looking.
Lightning claws, yeah. And he's running forward. So yeah, they, like I said, they did a really good job on these. And again, same thing. Like they're red, so the idea was that they're blood angels. But again, there's no actual markings on them. You can paint them however you want. And we'll talk about paint in just a
Well, we
minute.
can't judge this guy because he has a loincloth, so we don't know what's going on there.
Yes. This one's. Do you see this one with the knife? He's gonna stab somebody for sure.
He's
Look at how
gonna
excited he
trip
is. He's
over
like-
his knife.
He's jaunty.
He's gonna trip. Oh! He is
That's all
pretty
right.
stoked though. Did you make him like that, or is that how they forced
That's
you?
how it. Yeah, that's how it came.
It's pretty cool.
What,
It's
how
good.
they
It's good
fit together.
movement.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to see you get that necklace painted.
I could do it.
I know. It's pretty cool.
I could do it. Did you ever see this one? These are the ones that I painted.
Yes, I have
These are
actually,
the-
but
Did
you.
you ever see this one? I think that's my best work. Parts of it are my best work.
Question.
Yes.
Did you go in with the brass after, or the gold after, or before?
Before doing the other colors? It was kind of a mix.
Got it.
I kind of
You would clean up spaces.
yeah. And the purples and the pinks, I did like a million layers of really thin paint.
And you can see that.
Mm.
That's really great. And it still has that. You still use that paint that has the two, like.
Not on this one. No, this was before
You're
that.
kidding!
This was all. That's all traditional.
Well, then
paint.
you nailed it. What? Where did he pull that from? Is it frosted or is it?
No, so
Did he grab it from like a sand?
yeah,
bucket?
like it's like a
relic?
relic he found. Yeah,
It
yeah.
literally looks like
Cool.
that. Like he's like, I just went into the Pharaoh's lounge and. Dang.
It's hard to
dude.
see, but like on the goggle lenses, they're like 4 different colors on there. It's so minuscule. I really put a lot of time into that.
So I see the frame color, the eyes
And then
itself,
there's like
and then the
there's
shadowing
like,
around.
Yeah. And then there's like a almost white highlight.
I see it.
I
see it.
It's basically invisible.
And you did a great job of showing that there's shadow and that only certain parts of his face are poking out.
Yeah.
Is he Nicky? Or is that just his
Oh,
tan shirt
yeah,
underneath? I mean, it's his tan
Yes.
shirt. It is. It just was being. Look at that. So, question
Yes.
number 2. Oh, so you had to paint underneath, so you couldn't like add this after.
Right. No, that came. So that's a Hero Forge model that actually Uberbaldi made that for
Aw.
me over at Hyper when he was making a whole bunch of models for all the different shows.
Why didn't you do his feet?
Oh, well, it kind of blends into the way it was glued. So I was thinking of rebasing it and then doing something different with the
Gotcha.
feet, but
Well, you did
I
an
haven't had
excellent job, especially considering you didn't use that other kind of paint.
yeah.
And I love how you layer the
Mm.
deep purple to go into the light pink, which is your favorite color.
It is, yeah. And we're going to talk about that more today. So yeah, anyway, this is a model I painted a while ago that I'm
Space
I am.
mix.
fairly proud of. I have pictures of it online somewhere. How did we get? Oh, painting the little tiny details. Yes. So Space Marine Heroes. So set number 3 is up
Space
for pre-order
Marine
today.
Hero.
Comes out next week. Unfortunately,
They're green.
they're Death Guard.
Oh,
So
gross.
so Heroes is not really applicable to this set.
That's subjective.
It is.
Ooh, purple and orange is a good color. Make it bigger.
That's what. It's getting bigger. There we go.
I only have this on because we have.
I understand. Do you have to show ID? Or ID, rather?
Yeah, I do actually.
Oh. So look, if you're into Death Guard, honestly, these models, they're really detailed. They're not, I'd say they have good poses, but Death Guard they're slow, they're just solid, they're fat. So the poses aren't extreme, but they have somewhat of a pose to them. The neatest thing about these guys is that every single one has a new Nurglin. Are you familiar with what Nurglins are?
I think those are the little thing at their feet.
Yes, they're the little tiny gross demons.
Is that the thing that's coming out of his body there?
No, I think his is actually up in his staff.
So it's his.
He's just got tentacles coming out of his armor.
Gross.
But yeah, each one of these has a new Nurglin. So yeah, Nurglin are the little tiny demon guys that are all over these, and they're playful. They're funny. Some of them have little helmets on.
I hate them.
Yeah, they're gross. Yeah, they do have tentacles.
That's a tentacle.
Now again,
depends on how they use it.
So Uzi, it's an interesting question you ask. When it comes to Warhammer 40k, as Rob Vegas just wrote, there are no good guys. There are some guys who are worse than others,
worse guys
for sure. But yeah, there's
bad guys and then there's worse guys.
The middle one I think here is pretty cool. I do like that one. Okay, so there are 6 of them. So here the first half.
It could be the tentacle. Could be his hernia.
Ugh. Gross.
Sort of why I can't get into 40k. I need good guys. You could roleplay good guys.
Yes, and there are some guys who are gooder than other ones.
Gooder?
Yeah, gooder. That's a word.
No, I'm impressed because I'm rubbing off on you.
So these are the other 3. One of them is secret.
I mean, it's not so secret if you can see the outline.
No. The middle guy's cool. He's throwing a grenade. And then we've got this guy over here. I don't know how well you can see it, but this one here, he's super drippy. There's little drips coming out of his mask and his gun, and it's and the Nurglin is like reaching out to get the drips.
Eat it? Ew. And Probably. It's over it to ew.
Yeah, it's super drippy.
Why?
You bet he's gonna be green.
I bet he will be green. That's
a good
We'll
guess.
See.
So yeah, so these are available for order now. And
if you're actually drippy, see a doctor. Leaky.
Wet.
Ew.
Wet ass.
Stop. Ooh, Emily
Thank
Witt.
you for the follow.
Hi.
We're
nice to
we're
see
looking
you.
at as my son calls these guys, gross Marines.
Gross Marines.
And
Emily Witt is hanging out during Heartbeats and now here. Welcome.
Cool. Yeah. So they are blind boxed. Their Games Workshop is selling like a whole.
Tentacles are fan services.
Yeah. They're selling a whole display of them, so you're guaranteed to get at least one of every single one, or you can buy them individually, and you don't know which one you're going to get.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't make sense then.
Well, I mean, if you just want to dabble, or just get like, if you wanted one mini just to try to paint, you could do it that way.
But wouldn't you want to paint the one you want?
Yeah, but I mean, if you like the aesthetic, then hey.
Got it.
But
the aesthetic, I get it.
But that is an
interesting
point you bring up, though, because unlike some other things, say you did buy 1 or 2 or 3 of those, you can't play that. That's not a unit. To play a unit of Death Guard, you need, or Plague Marines, whatever you want to call them, you need 5 at least. So those by themselves are not a unit you can play. And same with these. Basically same with all of these. If you wanted to play these as a unit, you would need to buy multiples or get one to add to what you already have in your army.
I'm sorry.
It's Batman.
And he was like...
His little tiny Batman.
He was very cute.
The waiter is here.
Thank you. He's like, that's sweet.
It is. He's being very kind.
Drink that barber water. So, if Biden was a faction,
he would definitely be
Space Marine.
Imperium.
Oh,
he'd be.
Is it Mini Meat? Oh, that's perfect.
Munitorum something, because he's bureaucracy all the way.
Yeah.
There's a place for him there. Okay, now here's where I want to talk.
I am so proud of you.
As he walks over all of the cables and the...
don't get me wrong. I was more worried about the glass, and then I changed my mind. Thank you, sweetheart. Bye, buddy.
He's got pretty rad tights on today.
He's pretty rad. I got it.
I'm helping.
You just want to be. You just. I'm a mess.
Somebody needs to take care of you. Okay. Now, Games Workshop, the company that makes all this junk, they really, really like dwarves. So we're gonna talk a lot about dwarves today. Are you ready?
I am. He looks at lights and goes, "How come just aren't complete like this?" Oh, my tights. I thought you said.
Oh, tights.
I do have complete tights that don't have holes in them. Okay, I have so much to talk about.
Okay,
I'm so
good.
Excited.
So Games Workshop, they love dwarves. Now, Games Workshop started with fantasy stuff. That was what they started with. Games Workshop began with Lord. We're gonna talk get to that in just a minute. Games Workshop the company started by licensing Dungeons and Dragons to sell in the UK.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
And then they got into Lord of the Rings, and then they made their own fantasy world, blah, 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 blah. So a lot of their stuff is based on Tolkien kind of things.
Okay.
And so,
as most lore is in general.
So like the magazine that Games Workshop puts out with all their new crap, it is called White Dwarf. There's a lot of dwarves in everything. And in fact, their favorite characters are dwarves. Some of the oldest characters that Games Workshop created have been there are like 3 really famous dwarves. So the White Dwarf is actually a character.
Okay.
In the lore.
But that's how much they love it.
Yeah, exactly. So the White Dwarf is a guy named Grombrindal. And then there's, like I said, there's some other dwarves. Not in here, but not in here.
You just wanted me to see.
You can come to the other gate. Yes, and Josef Bugman was one of his shield dudes, whatever they call it. What is the centerfold in a White Dwarf? Yikes.
No, it's actually Fadir. Nice to see you. It's Uncle Jesse.
Uncle Jesse.
You can sit right there.
He can't come all the way around.
So those tights are wicked.
They're pretty rad.
Hey, high five. Just give me a high five. Okay.
So the way it works with these iconic dwarf characters is Games Workshop will release them as special models every year. Not every year, but most years. So for instance, if you can grab the far guy over there. Yes. So for the 40th anniversary of all this stuff, they released this. So this is Grombrindal.
Oh, really? The White Dwarf?
In Space Marine armor.
What?
So look, he's got little tiny dwarf.
So he lives on as a.
Yeah, I mean it's not like there's no rules for this guy specifically, but you could play him as a Space Marine. You can kind of do whatever you want. So here is, and this is resin, so it was a huge pain in the butt to build. This one was neat because it came with. Hold on. So you could build it like that. Oh yeah, and there's one you can use on the door too. Okay. Or it came with a big decorative base. So what I did with mine is I cut out footholes, I magnetized it so I could switch him between his bases, which is pretty cool. Now if you look at the base, there's all sorts of stuff going on here. Their presence, there's a goblin. His mortal enemy is this dude up here popping out of the cake. And there's like a bolt gun down here in a package like a toy. So it's pretty cool. And again, yeah, so I glued a magnet to the bottom of his foot. And then, like I said, I trimmed out footholes and then glued magnets to the bases. Right, Gotrek is the other one. And Gotrek, the third dwarf, is still around in Age of Sigmar.
He was so sweet.
I heard.
It was so sweet.
So you see, I glued a magnet to his foot. Thank you for the subscription.
Oh, shite.
And then I cut out holes for his feet and then glued magnets to the base.
So that's... Did they suggest to do that?
No.
So you did that?
I did that.
That is so cool. Is that a style that people do?
Yeah.
So you learned it that way?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Yeah, and I just trimmed out.
That's a really cool, Scott.
Thank you. It actually worked really well on this one. I was impressed with myself.
Did that hurt?
Yes. So again, and this dude, they've released in several different versions over the years. I even have some pictures. And again, they'll release these as like special holiday releases, or again, this was a 40th anniversary release. So here is Grombrindal and his foe, the Black Gobo is the name of the goblin. But here they're models for them to play in Blood Bowl. So you can play the football version. Oh, it was a gift subscription. Cool. And thank you, Squirrel, for that gift subscription. Sorry, I didn't see where I was. They don't sell these at Hobby Lobby. Yeah. The hobby is always, we're trying to get it more inclusive for... Typically, this hobby has been for white dudes, and there's no reason why it needs to be, and we would love to have other people in the hobby, so a lot of us are actively trying to make that happen. We want more inclusivity, more diversity in our models, in our product ranges. We want the places where they play to be more inclusive and welcoming to new people, even if, God forbid, they're not white dudes. Yeah. So this was another special release with these guys as essentially football players. This one is probably the creepiest one. So they did Grombrindal as a tech priest for Warhammer. I don't love this, but it's a thing.
What is that?
So this is this same dude, but as a tech priest in Warhammer 40k.
Question.
Yes.
Why are they putting him in different factions?
Just to sell miniatures. They're limited edition, exclusive for an event or a
Do they
season.
have stories that are built behind them?
No,
Or,
like
okay.
2-sentence stories. That's it. So this is Grombrindal basically in 40k. He's a tech priest.
Oh,
He's got all the trappings.
Naeem. I can't. N-A-E-E-M.
Yeah. And then so again, in all of these stories, Grombrindal's his mortal enemy is the Black Gobo. So that's this goblin who's popping out of the cake.
Oh
here.
no! So he's sneaking up on him.
Yeah, he's like a trickster. So here, though, in this miniature that we're looking at right now, so Grombrindal is the tech priest. This sad, awful creature in the front, that is the Black Gobo, who has been turned into what's called a servitor in 40k. So
Like a Dalek, kind of?
Way worse. So
Also, hi, Lynn. It's a good day.
It certainly is. So a servitor is when they take a person and they lobotomize that person. They chop off arms or faces, whatever they need to implant cybernetic components to make that person useful again in society. And it can be anything from actually attaching guns to where their arms used to be a sentry, or putting a broom where an arm used to be to sweep up after people. Like it's really, really horrific stuff. And that model, like this thing here, kind of like is the epitome of. I mean, look at it's gross, and like he's got drool coming out of his mouth. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that one.
Well, how is it any
I'm not a fan
different
of
than the Dreadnoughts?
Well, Dreadnoughts still have their personality and their free will,
But are screaming in
essentially.
agony
Yeah.
for millennia.
Yeah.
You're still telling me which one you want.
Well, I mean,
Reanimated flesh or a soul stuck in a...
Sure. No, and that is a good debate point that you could talk about.
This is cool. This is satisfying.
The magnets.
Yeah.
And so you saw, this, all right, now I'm going to do a tiny bit of a tangent.
No one knows that you have things planned except for you.
Well, okay. It's a bit of a hot take.
A digression.
A bit of a hot take. 40k, there are no good guys. Yes. One of the key components of 40k and the Emperor of Humankind, the Emperor of Humanity, is he's like this ridiculously powerful creature. We can talk about his whole history behind that. He rises to power. He takes over the Earth, Terra in the future, makes Space Marines. They go out to conquer the universe. Things happen. There's a civil war. He his side wins, the loyalists win, but he's incapacitated, and he's installed in this device called the Golden Throne to help protect Terra forever.
Oh gosh.
All right. In a nutshell, we'll go into more details at other times. Before he is incapacitated, he issued this thing called the Imperial Truth, right? This was like, we as a society, we have to believe in science. Essentially, we don't believe in gods and magic. We are rational. And, oh, by the way, I'm not a god. I do have crazy powers, and I'm really powerful, but I'm not a god. We don't worship any gods. Now, after he wins...
Isn't that a good thing, though?
Well, I mean, arguably, sure. After he wins, well, even slightly before that, people started worshiping him in secret. And then after he won and was installed, they've just full-blown... So in 40K, the Emperor is worshipped as a god by basically all of humanity, except for Space Marines. They don't worship him. Because they remember.
They align,
some of them were alive back when he was
boo-boos, poor
still
bears,
walking around.
poor babies.
Yes. So I find it very interesting.
Way to cut through 90 novels.
Pretty much. Again, we can talk more about the intricacies other times. So there's built into Warhammer is this huge, not argument, but huge discussion about godhood and religion and what it serves and why it's not the best. And this is the same company that year after year does tons of Christmas specials and Easter announcements, and it's just a little weird to me. It's a little weird that in 2020 it's still so heavily...
Here's my hot take on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Even if we didn't have Christianity,
mm-hmm.
we would
a lot more people would be alive.
Well, then some other religion would have risen up.
Go ahead.
No, you're not wrong. I mean, think about the Spanish Inquisition and all those. I mean, it's beyond. It's our wars are fought over it today.
Yes.
But if we didn't have religion, let's say, forcing holidays such as Easter or Christmas,
sure,
there would be a spring day.
Fair.
There would be a Mother's Day. We would find these other ways to signify special things,
sure,
somehow or other.
Right.
You can't, as a business, not capitalize any longer on the income that you garner during. That's why it's the third quarter. It's not the fourth quarter.
Sure.
That's the point. So they may or may not be religious. They just can't afford to not be.
I get it. It feels a little weird that it's not like a winter holiday. Like it is like Christmas.
But if they
Advent,
didn't say
Christmas, like it's.
But if they said winter sale, they would lose people sooner. I believe.
Games Workshop and Warhammer people. I don't know about that. Because it's not like somebody's going to wander in off the street and say, like, oh, do you have a Christmas model?
Fair.
I don't know. Like I said, digression. So, for instance, last year, the year before, so one of the more recent ones was the Red Gobo. Now, this is a different character, but like they super Christmas him out. A lot of times, these special Christmas edition models are not actually like a Christmas model. That one is
specifically.
It's like, I mean, also it depends on how you paint it. You don't have to paint it that way.
But it kind of, you can make them green.
Sure.
Like,
yeah. But,
it kind of looks like the Charlie Brown tree.
Yes.
I get it
sure.
because you're Jewish, you're bitter.
You're underrepresented here.
This is one of the dice rings from Crit Success. So it's steel, but it's blue. It's a little bit. So this is a 2d6 ring. I love these dice rings. I have a whole bunch of them.
He's a communist goblin.
It's communist goblin.
That's really funny.
Okay, so separate from all that. So this Christmas you can get
very fast. He's a fast boy.
You can actually get it now, or it's on sale now.
For Christmas already?
Yeah, well, it's November.
This Christmas I gave you my
He must be very bad. That's right. I know, and there'll be more. They always do like traditionally they'll do like a Christmas model. They also do a Boxing Day model sometimes.
Well, there you go. They're just covering all of the bases.
Well, they are a British company.
Well,
I still don't know exactly what Boxing Day is. I know it has something to do with Christmas.
it's the second day technically,
Okay.
and that's when you give the gifts technically, or something like that.
There are things that you like pop on Christmas.
They're poppers.
I watched
legit
Doctor
poppers.
Who, so that's about all I know. Okay, so anyway, so we talked about there are these old dwarves that have been around forever in the lore. Okay, there's Josef Bugman who brews. So there's always beer and ale involved in all these things. There's Grombrindal, the white dwarf, which is this guy. There's another one called Gotrek. There is actually like a current playable model of him. So the new model for this year is this guy.
Ooh.
And his name is Brewmaster General Jacob Bugmanson the 11th.
Fourth. Okay.
The 11th.
I want him. Look at that
He's awesome.
axe.
I already have one on pre-order.
How much? Give us the prices.
I don't know. Usually models like this are $35 these days. Which is a lot for a single.
The kegerator. Ooh, gosh.
He's pretty rad.
Look, I love all the shine.
Okay, so what this is... So like with this guy, they'll take these characters and cram them into different universes.
They can't see it.
That's right.
But get mad. That's fine.
Stop. Now they...
I'm gonna bug you today.
No.
It's gonna happen.
So just like this guy, they cram these characters into... I'm just going to leave it like that.
No, that's what I was hoping you would. I deserve it.
So they cram these characters into different factions of the current game worlds. Now, so this is clearly it's a dwarf. We were like one creature that's half red, half blue.
I hate this country.
No.
And you hate mine. Let's call the whole thing off. Damn, Jessica.
So what is this guy? And all right, clearly he's a dwarf, but he's got all this metal on. If you look really closely, like he's completely covered head to toe. No skin showing. And that's because in the fantasy game Age of Sigmar, which we haven't talked about much.
Wait, is his beard even gilded?
Yeah, it's like a mask. Now there is... He does come with an alternate head, so you can build him, and it's not as cool. It's a style choice.
Can you go back and put the other picture up?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this head, but he's a jolly fellow.
Can you go back and then let me see the mask again? Just zoom in on the mask.
Yes. Do you want
our
viewers to be able to see it too?
Yeah. That's because I did not clock that it was a mask. I just thought that it was a sheen in total.
Yeah, no, it's a whole metal.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Here, I'll bring it up for everybody again. And boom. Yeah, it's hard to tell until you look really closely. So
that is so cool.
So in the Age of Sigmar game that's going on right now, there are dwarves that are like traditional-ish dwarves. They're dwarves that are like they're slayers. They run around. They're half naked and they're crazy. But the faction that I actually like in Age of Sigmar, I don't really play that game. I played a couple of games. I do, of course, have an army for it because that's what you do.
Same model, detachable, is what Hylian asked. You can switch out, or do you have to order them both?
It comes with both parts. I don't know if... I'm not sure. We have to wait till we get it in hand to see if you can swap out the parts, make them magnetized. Usually you have to build it one way, and then you're stuck with that. For me, it's fine. I'm going to build it with the helmet no matter what. Head. So, if you want to start grabbing these things, I'm
sorry.
That's okay.
I just was trying to...
It's a little one, and then the airship.
These bowies.
So these are what are called Caradron Overlords, and yes, they are. It
does that.
Yes.
Okay.
So these are dwarves that live in the sky. They live on airships. They fly around. They look for aether gold, and it's gold that is in the clouds. It's really neat. Their culture is all about. A lot of it is about like privacy and individualism. So they never show any of their skin. They wear head to toe clothing and armor. So you'll see all of them have these. It's a helmet that covers, and the helmets do have beards.
That is
that are part of the helmet.
Cool.
And this is a fantasy game, and essentially in a fantasy game, and they're all in power armor with guns.
That is
Yeah, it just
So
sort of
cool.
like
No, I got it.
fits in there a little
I
bit.
hate it.
That's the smallest of their 3 airship models. I have one that's a little bit bigger, and I don't have the biggest one.
He
yet.
floats.
And then you got little guys who have floaty packs themselves. So yeah, this army is.
Why can't
really
I
neat.
play this one? This army.
We can. Yeah, we can. We can do that. We can do an Age of Sigmar.
No, I'm saying I think maybe instead of
Oh, like you want this to be your
orcs. What is it? This is my second army. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
So you know,
So
people have multiple armies.
For sure. Yes.
I can't play this in 40k.
I mean, we could do it counts as something else.
Oh no, that doesn't work for me. I need it to be
then,
part
well,
the
then
canon.
no, because there are no dwarves in Warhammer 40k, which we're going to talk about in just 1 second as soon as we're done talking about these guys.
During that time,
Yes.
I'm going to use the restroom,
Okay.
pop the champagne,
Okay.
and we're going to get back at it.
Okay.
Then you can have a less disturbed stream while I'm gone.
No, less interesting.
Oh yeah. Woo!
So yeah, so these are Karajan overlords. I think they're really neat. They are dwarves who, again, they live in the sky. They have got a bunch of weird stuff.
I
So-
love them.
Yeah, so that new Jacob Bugmanson, who again is like a descendant of Josef Bugman, you can play in this army. Now he almost certainly won't come with his own rules, but you can swap him out for any of the leader types in this army.
I flashed you because he said it was more interesting, so I was trying to keep it interesting.
Yeah, we just have to learn Age of Sigmar. It's a similar rule set, but there's some.
So what are
slight
the
differences.
armies in Age of Sigmar?
Oh, I mean it's all traditional
same?
fantasy stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
Is Vermintide?
Skaven. Well, yeah. Go ahead. I don't
No,
want to just throw words at you.
I played
Yes.
a game on
Yes.
Tuesday, Vermintide, which
Yes.
I actually think I do like.
Cool.
But it seems like it's set in the Middle Ages.
Right. That's.
Is it Sigmar?
I think Vermintide is technically still Warhammer Fantasy,
I see.
which Age of Sigmar is like the new version of that. I don't know
Gotcha.
if it's the same world. They got a little silly with that world. So it used to be Warhammer Fantasy and Warhammer 40k. Warhammer Fantasy used to be the bigger selling game.
Okay.
And then 40k took over. And then Fantasy was like, well, it's pretty good, but they wanted to like really shake it up. So they killed the entire world and then made a new world that came after it, and that's Age of Sigmar. So it's not exactly what it used to be.
Huh.
There was the end times and all this crazy stuff.
I see.
happened.
So it's still part of the canon,
Yes.
or did they
And-
trash the canon?
Yes and no. and again, there's some really interesting crossovers between the two worlds. So in Age of Sigmar, there are the same 4 chaos gods, and you can play demons, but they're not technically the same gods as they exist in 40k.
So there is no overlap
It's-
technically between the 40k and fantasy
Technically,
worlds.
and some of the models you can still play in both because they're the same units with the demons.
Oh, we do
It's-
need to talk about this though. Why there are no dwarves in 40k?
Oh yeah, no, we're getting into it.
I know.
That's
I'm
next.
gonna pee
Okay,
right here. Thank you.
just do it. Right, exactly, Zarda. I was like, some things transferred over from the old world into Age of Sigmar world, but it's complicated. It's fun, but it is complicated. And yeah, I was it took me a while to really get interested in the TOS violation. In Age of Sigmar, I mean, the armies are, don't get me wrong, the armies are beautiful. Like, if you go and look up the different things, there's some really cool elves and just, like orcs or oruks, all sorts of neat stuff. There's this whole line of the Idoneth Deepkin. They're essentially underwater elves who ride on giant seahorses and turtles and things that are really cool. It just took me a long time until I found dinosaurs with laser cannons. It took me a long time until I found an army that had an aesthetic that I liked. But the Karajan overlords, these are neat. These are fun. This one, it's on a ball joint, but it doesn't stick very well. I should magnetize it in some way. And like I said, I've played this game twice. So I have an army. I've only played it twice. I get to do a pretty fun game here at the house with Joe Starr and Bert and Naeem. So that was good. In the old days. Yeah, they're sky dwarfs. They're great. Snow elves, yeah. And they're elves they're all about mountains, and so the minis even have Like they're kind of like god type of characters, have little mountains and trees on them. They're cute. They're fun. It's fun stuff. They're the cooler of the two. I mean, look, the other ones are neat also. So we're going to talk next about what happened to dwarves in Warhammer 40k. So in 40k, we're in the future, right? We're in the future in
You're
Warhammer
just
40k.
so great at waiting.
Yeah, well, I'm doing the prep work.
You're leading up to
I'm leading into it. Because you'll notice that in Warhammer 40k, in the far future, in the science fiction world, we have a bunch of fantasy races, right? We have orcs. We have goblins.
Got it.
Although
Okay.
they're called
Grots.
Grots. Thank you. Fell out of my head. We have elves. They're called, Eldari or Eldar. We have all these things. But we don't have dwarves. Now, why is that? Where are they?
What
happened to them? Because way back when, there were dwarves in 40k.
So something happened. That was my question.
Several things happened. So there used to be a thing in Warhammer 40k called squats.
Oh.
This is a squat. They are space dwarves.
I don't like him as much anymore.
Well, hold on. We'll see some other versions. Reset the clock. Pinwiz, that clock is gonna. It's a very long clock.
They don't seem to.
There is there are theories. There are people think that the squats are coming back. They are back in one way, which we'll talk about.
I know how to do this.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
You're getting scared. People die.
I know. I also know how to do it.
You're doing it. It's
Okay.
mind.
Oh, okay. Do it. Yes, they're super chunky. They're very squat, as the name would imply. Now, squats actually predate Warhammer 40k. Technically.
My toys.
I know. Because before Warhammer 40k was called Warhammer 40k, there was a game called Rogue Trader. That was the first thing. You got to be patient. It's all about slowly moving it back and forth.
I just couldn't actually move it.
Oh,
I was
okay.
having a hard time.
I'm not
with
crazy.
my
I'm telling
strength.
people no. Maybe they
I
don't
know how to do it.
Are you sure?
I worked in a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
And actually, that's how I know about Frenese, because I like it. But we
That's
do
not-
splits, not
Oh.
fulls.
Okay. Should I get a saber and chop it off?
Yeah.
I don't actually know how to do
So
that.
it needs to be
I've seen-
super cold in order to do that.
And you need a sword that's super sharp, which I don't have.
Because the pressure actually is what makes it a clean break,
Yeah.
so that you're not pouring glass back in. And my uncle actually successfully, don't point it at me, go that way.
I'm pointing at that. Why don't want to?
You'd rather you hit me?
Slowly move it back and forth, right?
Yes.
There are lots
It's
of things.
tough.
It is tough. There are lots of things in this room that I absolutely don't want it to hit.
Besides me. My uncle successfully sabered a champagne bottle on my cousin's
Oh, nice.
21 birthday. It was fun.
Well, hold on, they need-
Okay, give me it.
Okay. We'll just keep working on it.
Yeah.
Just heat it up.
We'll just heat it up.
Sorry, I'm moving the picture.
We're like
There we
Spike
go.
Lee today in Brooklyn. Cake. The most unsuccessful champagne pop ever. Ooh, this is a rough one. It's okay. I realize it's okay.
Yeah, so before 40k there was Rogue Trader.
No, they don't have corkscrews for.
I mean, you could.
With this,
It
a
would.
champagne bottle,
You could.
it wouldn't work very well.
You could do it. Yeah, so first there was Rogue Trader. Because in the 40k universe there are Rogue Traders. They're humans who travel around the universe. They're like they're kind of like pirates or privateers or.
Look, what am I?
Wow.
Use a ship.
Yeah.
It's okay. Everything's great. I
Is it
got it.
moving?
It's gonna happen.
Okay.
It's gonna
Boom.
happen. Ooh. Oh, that was. Look at that quirk. It's like residue. I've never seen that.
That's weird.
Yeah, this was a particularly good one.
Eat it for luck.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. that right there.
Your wife can drink alcohol or no?
She can if
Would
she
she be
wants to.
interested?
Probably not.
I got an extra cup. I just didn't want to assume.
So yeah, so there were squats, and they were straight up space dwarves. They do all the kind of dwarfy stuff that you'd expect. Oh, although here's an interesting point. In in Warhammer, I don't know if this is a British thing in general. There are no dwarves. There are dwarfs.
That's why
Drives
Uzi
me
said that. Why?
Fucking crazy. I hate it. I hate it. I hate
Cheers
dwarfs.
to what? There's so much to walk
I know,
through this
right?
world. For Trump never wanting to come back. That's what I want.
Sure.
And for 4 years, those are just going to be a little less stressful.
Yes. Just an upward trajectory. That's all I want. It's an upward trajectory.
It's an uphill battle, but
because there's
not,
always things that we can improve upon, and there's so many things we need to improve upon.
They're not a perfect ticket.
No.
But you know what? Say what you will about Kamala, I'm excited.
Yeah. It's a new day.
Cheers. You put down your cup. Unbelievable.
Is that not a thing?
Uh-uh.
I don't know.
You can't put it down.
I don't drink.
You can't put it down before you take a sip.
Is that like you can't put away a knife without drawing blood?
Yes, not dissimilar.
Okay.
But that would be a Chris knife, specifically.
Yeah, dwarfs. I hate the name dwarfs instead of dwarves. I can't stand it.
Yeah, the linguist in you can't.
It bothers me. Anyway. It bothers me.
Good.
So, there are... So let's take a look at the models. That was art.
When was this?
This was in the 87?
Okay, it looks like it. Not a fan of dwarfs.
Or dwarfs. Dwarves.
Hi, Black Cavalier, 1642. What happened in that year? You can't say anything again until you tell us what happened in 1642. I decree it. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
So these are space dwarves. They're interesting. Yeah, right at the year I was
Beginning
born.
of English Civil War.
Well, there you go.
Fascinating. That was a very specific number. I knew you would have to have known. As far as I'm concerned, we're already looking at two models. Okay. You mean these ones back here, right?
And let me open this bigger so Jessica can see. So these are old school. These are peak Rogue Trader models.
Oh, they're kind of cute.
They're cute. They have their own. They certainly have their own style.
They're like leprechaun green, though.
Yeah,
it's got to be the limitations of the paint at the time, right?
So here are some. Here, let me swap these out. This will just take a little second to go through. I tried to do this once and make a bunch of scenes that I could flip through, and it made my computer die.
Did it?
Yeah. Like, I don't know, it kept, like, running, like, processing all the scenes at once or something. So here are some...
They're packing AK-47s.
Here... Yeah, now, if you'll notice by looking at these... So the story goes that at Games Workshop, there were a couple of employees there who were all about these squats. They loved them. They put all these crazy ideas into them.
Who did? I'm sorry?
It's just like a couple of employees of the company.
Okay.
Not everybody were super into them, but that's fine.
But they still made the White Dwarf magazine.
Yes. So if you look really closely at these, there's the aesthetic of this army and these models. It's all over the place with like modern weaponry. You've got like Roman standards here. You know, essentially, there's just a bunch of weird crap going on.
You can't see me waving, but hi, Wilder.
Okay, now, in addition, one of the things that the squats were known for in their rules and also in the art for them, almost inexplicable... Oh, hold on, I'm grabbing the wrong thing.
Squats, I hate that. I hate that more than dwarfs.
Is that they were all about... They were also rebels and like a biker gang. So you've got these weird... Yeah, sometimes you get wounded or dead models. So there's this whole subculture of biker squads. Again, this was a labor of love for a couple of people at the company.
Did they try to make it relevant? Is that what was happening?
Who knows? Maybe.
Galileo Galilei. Was that his last name?
Yeah.
Galileo Galilei was his last name?
Yeah. That's why we don't refer to it, because it's silly.
Galileo Galilei.
Yeah. So probably the coolest thing about the squats were these. Their bikes and their trikes.
Oh, that's cool.
Again, like these models
They're
are
like Vegas
super.
trikes.
These models are super freaking goofy. I mean, look, that's
that
like
a
a straight up
beard?
leprechaun on this one.
Is. What's going on with that guy's ears?
I think he's wearing some kind of a little helmet.
Oh my goodness. They really... If they wanted it to do
Trexosaurus,
well,
yeah.
they should have done better.
Well, these sold. Like there was interest in this line. It was popular for a hot minute back in Rogue Trader days. In White Dwarf magazine, they released rules and lists so you can make an army out of these guys and actually play them. And then very quickly, Games Workshop started to go into the different editions of Warhammer 40k, and along the way, squats got lost.
Did they create a story as to why?
A little bit. And there weren't just regular squats. You could upgrade your squats with Squat Exo Armor, which is essentially like a Terminator squat. And some of them could join the Adeptus Mechanicus and become Tech Priest. Sure, why not?
Because they couldn't figure out how to make it work. Oh, Mr. John!
John, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, everybody. We're talking about squats. Dwarves in...
Does John know about squats?
I don't know. That's a good question.
You're saying WAP? That's a WAP.
What?
That's a WAP. Oh, are you guys coming over here and you have to say WAP? What's up?
What's up?
WAP.
Yeah.
We're drinking champagne because Biden is the elect.
Remove. Go.
Which finger am I holding up? Guess. If you get it right.
I'm guessing, or they're
Someone
guessing.
has to. Which finger is it? Which one do you think it is?
I think it's your middle finger. I think that's always going to be my guess for you. It's just your brand. What?
The answer is gives a shit to see.
I mean, hey. So they've got Terminator armor. They're bikers. They're just all over the place. Now, way back when, there was another game that was alongside the miniature game that was essentially the same miniatures but even smaller, and it was called Epic. So essentially, you could play like these gigantic entire worlds fighting, but the scale was smaller, so you could basically have bigger models but more accessible on the battlefield.
One moment.
Yes.
If you're brand new to this stream, click that follow button. He's really smart and I'm really stupid. That's the thing. So at 10 a.m. Pacific time, he streams Monday through Friday some of the dorkiest things
Well, that's true.
with intense amounts of knowledge and an enthusiasm to teach. So just give a subscription if you want to as well.
Yeah, follow's good.
It is work that we're doing.
It is, yes. I do honestly, I do put a lot of work into my streams.
I know you do.
And even ahead of time, preparations,
I was
research.
having a existential problem with why am I asking people to subscribe to me?
Oh, yeah.
And then in the middle of the night, I was like, I have internet to pay for.
Mm-hmm.
I play the games, but it also made me, and I'm sure you're feel similarly, super grateful for everybody who is supportive
yeah, of course,
of us.
yes. Yeah, whenever I always thank people for just showing up.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that's awesome, and just being part of our little community.
And
so
if you're a subscriber, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Epic. Now there's a game called Adeptus Titanicus, which is essentially a game.
You're losing me on these like offshoots. I'm kidding. I'm just.
So unfortunately I don't have any. But you've seen it Hyper. So they're like people playing Space Marines, and then you've seen like the big robots.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you for the subscription, Becky Darrow. 4 months. Thank you so much. So the like big robot.
Yeah.
Things. So those are knights. Now there are also
Sigmar.
There are also Titans that are this big to as almost as
when
big as Maximilian.
Naeem showed up with like some crazy
He's got
shit.
he has knights. So Forge World, the more expensive branch of Games Workshop, sells Titans, which are huge. Like literally, the biggest one is almost as big as Maximilian, and well, it weighs not quite as much. Maximilian's heavy.
Oh hi!
But,
the jumping with Ben.
So there's a new game where essentially you can play
a few
those.
grand?
Oh yeah, they're thousands of dollars.
That's how much Naeem spent on them?
No, because his are just knights.
Oh.
No, we're talking the Titans are that much. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. But Adeptus Titanicus is essentially a.
Let's get drunk.
It's like a miniatures game. So those
girl.
models are only this big in that game. So you can.
I made it not go over.
Okay.
Did you see how I did that?
I did that. Yes.
I made it not do it.
So it's just a much smaller scale, so you can play bigger things in smaller versions. So anyway, Epic was like that. So in Epic, you could play all of these totally weird squat vehicles. They had their own robots. They had digging machines. I'm surprised you didn't just reach down and start slurping it out.
Well, it was going to happen if it needed to, but you saw me will it.
You mentally controlled that.
And guys, I will stop eating chips if it's bothersome.
No one's complained yet?
Well, no, but they might not be. They just might be turning off.
Okay, that's true.
No, we have more viewers than we did when I started eating chips, so maybe that's their kink.
Yes, they want to hear that crunch. It's like reverse ASMR. That's that might,
I hate this.
That might be your brand.
Reverse ASMR. Everything I say, everyone's like, "Ah!" I love how my ears bleed. Dip the chips in the bubbly. I can't. Reverse.
Yeah, reverse ASMR. That's good.
Really funny.
Okay, so we have all these squats. It even got so crazy that yes, as somebody said in chat, they even made a set of
chaos.
I'll open it so you can see.
Well, that depends on what god they believe in, right?
Yes. So they even made chaos.
Oh my god! What happened to their arms?
So these are metal. The arms were a separate plastic kit, so you can mix and match however you wanted to do it.
But why do metal and plastic? That seems.
It's just how they just did the production. So you see the guy in the bottom left-hand corner. He's got a like a crab claw, so he's a Slanesh dude. Now these are.
Is that an elephant boy?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with these. The very old Chaos Space Marines had just really wacky designs. In the old days, they would literally Games Workshop would just commission artists to make miniatures, and then they would just sell them. That didn't have rules. They didn't necessarily even have lore. They just gave it a name and sent it out and see if it sold. And despite people maybe saying otherwise and not quite remembering,
he sold them Black Cavalier. Ugh.
Oh no! In these old days, there were female Space Marine models.
But were they super hot though?
Grog. Yes. I mean, well, they were supposed to be, but they were not.
Do you have a picture?
Great. Oh man, I don't handy. I'll find one later.
So,
and I can tweet it out.
Really quick question.
Yes.
Let's not jump to it. If you have it planned, were you just baiting me by saying Deep Rock Galactic?
No. We're about to get there.
Okay, great. We're
about to get there.
Because I have a whole thing.
Good. I'm glad. That's why I asked you to talk about it. So we've got chaos squats. We've got all these random squat things going on. We're in 2nd edition Warhammer 40k, and there's no main squat thing going on. Everyone's like, where are rules for our squats? I've got all these models. Where is the? Yeah. Oh, and the chaos squat minis again. Those had no rules. They were just something fun that you could have. So the codexes that come out in 1995, all the codexes for these other armies, they have an ad in the back say squats codex coming soon. They keep saying come soon. We get into 1996 coming soon, and it's never happened.
Why?
Never happened. So for a long time, people were wondering what happened. Why did they not give us our squats? And then in 2004, so it took that long.
Jeez.
One of the main people at Games Workshop put out a letter. And it was really interesting because it totally peeled back the curtain.
They must have gotten inquiries every year.
Every day they get it. To this day, people are constantly saying where are the squats,
Have
we
people
want squats.
created their own?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Massive amounts.
Great.
But
you can't play it in an official tournament.
No, you
Yeah.
can't.
Okay, carry on.
Okay, so this guy Jervis Johnson, he's a huge name in Games Workshop. He comes out, he has an article, and he says he apologizes. He said we dropped the ball. We wanted to do squats, we had ideas, but then when it came time to do the codexes for the new edition, none of the original people who were behind squats were still around in the company, and nobody else really felt like they could take over and give that army its due, what it was due.
Do you believe it?
I do, only because, again...
Or did they fire the guys for creating squats?
Maybe. Because, again, you look at the early Games Workshop stuff, and it's so wacky. None of it fits together in one cohesive style. They were really just, like, making stuff and throwing it out there and seeing what stuck.
Which is clear if they're sending it out without
for sure.
a play set.
And, yeah, I mean, that's basically what it comes down to.
Hi, Ruiner
Now,
302.
Yes, hello. Behind squats, right. So then there's like, okay, but they do still, they are a thing in Warhammer 40k. So we do want to have them be part of a story. So they were all killed off by Tyranids.
So even more reason to hate Tyranids.
Yes.
For
reasons. But then they tried to have it both ways and say most of the squats were killed off, like their world was eaten by the Tyranids. But the handful that survived were out in the universe, and they're called demiurges, and they tried to make that a thing, but then that never became a thing either.
They just need to retcon.
So squat fans have been salty for decades. Decades. This has been going on. Now, that didn't stop Games Workshop from continuing to tease squat people, because even in codexes, even in 7th edition, even in 8th edition, there were references to squats existing. Just existing. Because what happens is in the Imperium, the Imperium is humans. Humans only. Humans first and only. Because we are authoritarian, we are an ethno-state, essentially, and it's bad. But we sometimes let these ab-humans hang out in the Imperium. They're like not quite human, but we'll use them for labor and stuff. Or just we'll enslave them, essentially.
Is it indentured servitude, or is it?
Pretty much. They're abhumans. Yeah, sometimes they get a pass as long as they're close enough to humans that they don't disgust us. Like, we're not going to throw up as soon as we see them, but we might think about it.
Will the women sleep with them and then...
Oh my god, no. Never.
Okay.
And that's where we get ratlings. So ratlings are generally the most famous ab-human. So essentially the idea is that they used to be humans. They have lived on other planets long enough to mutate in certain directions. Abnormal humans.
It's
exactly.
just a shortening of
Yes. So yeah, again, they used to be mainline humans, but they've lived on other planets and mutated enough over generations that now they don't look exactly like humans. So ogrins are like big, bulky, stupid humans. Ratlings are hobbit humans. Yeah.
But there's no direct connection to Vermintide. Because if they're ratlings, they're
not rats. Right. Now that's another good point, though, because in fantasy, there are Skaven, which are the rat people. And in Age of Sigmar, you can play a Skaven army. So maybe...
Why would you want to? No.
Oh, people love Skaven.
I want to be that. I want to be my elf lady.
Okay, there are lots of Skaven fans out there. You can even play Skaven in Blood Bowl. You can have a rat team in your football.
Not interested, but cool.
Okay. Where was I going with this?
You were saying that they teased the squats, then they have the abhumans.
Yes.
And
okay.
Must have been derivative of that somehow.
Sure. So we get into 7th edition. They're still listed as...
There are cat people? Show me the cat people.
There are sort of not. They're not really like they don't have models or anything.
Do they fuck a cat?
No. These are they're just mutants. They're.
But how do you turn into a cat unless you introduce cat DNA?
No,
it's a
they're not cat
question.
people. They're. Imagine if you were living on a planet where, oh man, how do we even?
Zardos just can't. Thank you, Zardos.
it's mutation. It's like evolution. So if you were on a planet where there was no light, so humans somehow adapted to being able to see in the dark, your eyes over millions of years, again, like evolution in Warhammer is not really real, but your eyes you might get a different shape in your eyes.
We still have eyes that are accustomed to being in water.
Well, there you go.
Just so you know.
Because we're mutants.
We're all alive.
Everyone. We are all mutants in some way.
Okay, carry on.
In some way our DNA is. No, we're almost done. So 8th edition Warhammer, which is only a few years old.
Living on a planet where Meowmix is all you know.
Right, exactly, Vin Diesel. And whatever his race or people are called. I can't remember. So eat more chips. So in the Warhammer universe, there's not just the Warhammer game, right? We talked about Adeptus Titanicus. There are these other versions of the games. There's also a game called Necromunda. Have you ever heard of Necromunda?
No, how would I? Why would I?
I don't know. You might have heard that name.
Zero chance.
So Necromunda is a planet
Furians.
in the universe. Furians, that's it. And exactly, yes. Furians could be considered...
You're not
they're
even
basically
drinking.
abhumans. I'm sipping.
That's not how you do champagne.
I gotta guzzle it down?
I'm just get it down the throat. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
I know you don't drink. I'm here to do that for you.
I'm enjoying it. So Necromunda is what's called a boxed game, which is just their silly version of calling it like a board game. Necromunda has factions, just like every other game. They're almost all human factions of different kinds. Is everything okay?
I'm considering if I should say that I'm going to or not.
You could just stay here.
If at that point,
yeah, of course,
you would know whether I could actually drive or not.
Yes, and you
I'm
could
not
just stay here, and we could do.
Have to be very upset.
Okay, look, it's all you. So anyway, so Necromunda is a game it's the Warhammer 40k universe. It has its own unique. Basically, it's a game of gang warfare in human cities.
Oh.
And it's cool. Like I have some models for it. I've never actually played it.
Cool. The terrain's got to be really cool.
The what?
The terrain.
Oh, the terrain. Yes, yeah. You use as much complicated terrain as possible.
I love that.
It's neat,
especially if it's a city. Yeah, that's cool.
So in that game, there are not one, but 2 actual squat characters. Squats?
What?
They're squat models, squat characters. Squats are alive in Games Workshop in Warhammer to this day.
You know what? That's cool.
Right? These models look fantastic.
I love that
Mohawk. They're fully
Ooh.
modern models.
Yeah, I love it.
Ooh, I have 2 versions of the same file open. That's interesting. So on the left is the mercenary bounty hunter Grendel Grendelson, and then on the right is the ammo jack Ragnir Gunstein. And yeah, they're great. I love it.
I want to get paid by Games Workshop to paint.
Yeah. They do that.
I know.
So these are essentially like independent characters you can add to your
They're not
gang.
their own army.
Right. You can't run a whole squad gang. These are just guys you can add to whatever else it is that you're playing. Can I paint them this well? No. not quite this level. If I put a lot of time and effort into a model, I can maybe get almost close, but
if you wanted to, you could.
Maybe. I mean, I have some paint skills, but
I'm going to tell the honest truth. I'm a really good painter. And 9 times out of 10, it's because I've repainted it 10 times.
Oh, sure.
And because I'm looking at something. I'm not like, there's some people that are photogenic memory or whatever.
Yes.
Photogenic.
I know what you mean. Photographic.
Mm-hmm.
So we have squats. They do exist. What's probably the best thing is that toward the end of 8th edition Warhammer, because right now we're in 9th edition, one of the last books that came out had a section that talked about a battle that was going on, and there was like this mysterious enemy, and they had some crazy technology that nobody had ever seen, and the transmission that was broken up said, the quote was, hold on, let me read it because it's really cool. Basically, like there's this gravitational field that's emanating from a nearby ship bearing the markings of what's supposed to be an extinct race, the squat, and then it cuts off.
That's
That's
cool.
the plot. So squats do exist in Warhammer 40k. They are not a faction that you can play. There are no models except for the 2 in Necromunda.
It was their way of kind of trying to tell people, like, stop fucking asking us.
Yeah, for sure. Now, might the squats come back one day in a more full way? It's possible. Anything's possible. Now, people do play squats. How do they do that? Generally, that was in Psychic Awakening Pariah. And again, it was just like a little sidebar thing. So if you want to play something like squats in Warhammer 40k, all you have to do, well, number one, like you said, is you can't play in big tournaments, for sure. That's a given. But you have to pick another army, and you're saying you're playing that army, but you're using your own models. So typically what they do...
Can you do that in a tournament?
Depends
on which tournament.
Exactly. Not in like an official Games Workshop sanctioned tournament.
Which has to be like, you have to have 3 different colors on...
Yes, exactly. Every single piece of plastic on the table has to be from a Games Workshop kit, all the rest of that kind of stuff. But if you're not doing that, then yeah, go nuts. So typically what people do is they play Astra Militarum or Imperial Guard armies using squat miniatures. And again, whether they have like these ancient squat minis or they've made their own, or there are a bunch of companies that make essentially space dwarf miniatures that you can swap
Obviously
out.
there's like a enough of a demand for it where I can see getting obsessed. It's what amazes me about the human psyche.
Yeah.
Is you've never seen this thing ever before in your life.
Sure.
And you get sold
And
this
you-
one
yep.
thing and you're like, that's the thing I love now.
Yeah.
That's what's it's crazy to me. But really I think it actually speaks broad in a broader way of just wanting to be accepted and going, that is my identity now.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
So it would make sense that people would get obsessive about that. And then part of me wants to be like, I want to make that guy real. Like, I want to play him.
All right, I want to give it character, a name, a story.
Sure.
And
I feel bad that they don't have that.
it's sad. Okay, so we've gone all the way through all of these space dwarves. We see guys who look like this. So tell me about Deep Rock Galactic.
So this is why I want to go home before the game, the show tonight.
Oh, okay.
So I can play at least a level.
Oh.
I'm trying to level up.
Yes.
Deep Rock Galactic, I don't know very much about, except for the fact that they are space dwarves. They're
squats.
I hate it.
What?
I hate the name squat.
Why?
It's just dumb. Call them a dwarf. They had to
Call them
make
dwarfs?
dwarves.
Dwarves.
So they are dwarves, but
Yes.
they are male. So that's my gripe with it at the moment.
Okay.
They have not employed female dwarfs.
Why?
Just I think it's a bunch of boys making the game, and they're really
that's stupid.
derogatory to an inanimate but like functional object. There's like a it's a mule. It's like a walking minecart essentially, and they have like personalities that talk to you like BB-8.
Yes, John. Well, depending on the system and the world,
No.
It's been known that there are female dwarves.
Well, here's the thing, Ro. That's my exact point. Is you could give me a female dwarf with the outlying. That's exactly why I wanted a female dwarf, because I want them to have beards. So in Rat Queen specifically,
sure.
The character shaves her beard, and it's a big thing.
Yeah.
So the mission control directly refers to them as boys, and then when they're talking derogatorily to the mule, they're like, "Take your time, old lady." Like they're very
weird.
Yeah, like
that's an odd choice.
They're very mean to it. And it makes for funny enough commentary.
Sure.
And for me, it's like representation, right? In a sense.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I would like to build a dwarf in the style of how I would want my dwarf to look like. Yeah. Do I mind playing a male character? I'd like to have the option. Yeah. Ultimately. Especially because there are female dwarves, especially because it probably Rat Queens makes me feel that way. Anyway, it's fun, and they drink ale, and you can buy different kinds of alcohol, and one version of the alcohol makes them really super smart. They're like, did you know that my friends made fun of me for trying to improv sounding smart? Like the
your one weakness.
I'm trying to do it again. They basically start like
That's
spouting
amazing.
off, calculus and then some. Another one warps them into space, and they come back.
Wow.
One of them passes them out.
Cool.
It's very charming. They found ways to make it multi-leveled. And what I really like about it too is that it's acclimating me to a first-person shooter with lower stakes, because I'm not trying to kill other people. I'm trying to kill just the people that, like, the AI that's trying to kill us.
They're bugs, right?
They're bugs, which is just so much
like Tyranids. Like Tyranid
they're not
bugs?
Dissimilar.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have an arachnophobia, you want to play that game, even though they have not the same amount of legs, they're still
Or watch the latest episode of Mandalorian.
Apparently, Riley said that, right?
Spoilers, but everybody's already talked about it.
I haven't watched a single episode. Actually, I've only watched one episode.
I gave you my Disney Plus.
I know, but I don't give a. I actually don't care to watch it.
It's honestly, it's boring.
Sorry, that was my takeaway after the first episode.
But Mandalorian is a boring show.
Ben Moore can never play, probably. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know that Ben Moore had an issue with that. But again, if I cared about spiders, I don't know that I'd want to play.
Yeah,
and I don't.
Sure.
I don't.
But I've watched when you've played on streams, and it's a little bit cartoony. Like
it's exaggerated.
The shapes are exaggerated. That's a good word for it.
We call a couple things. It's actually not funny, but it's hilarious.
Uh-oh.
It's like, I laugh because I would cry otherwise.
Yeah.
There's things that come from the wall that or like from the ceiling that grab you and bring you to the ceiling, and someone has to shoot it in order to take you out, like to save you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or like a mosquito that's like, and like now you're flying around the cavern, and then there's another one that's on the floor that now.
So they're like Starship Troopers bugs too.
It's not dissimilar.
Okay.
That's my first impression of it was that this is a Starship Trooper but with dwarfs thing. Yeah. And basically the dwarves are there just to mine material.
Okay.
That then they also have to just like they're basically taking material from the bugs' layers.
Interesting. Okay.
So we call them trumpers because they grab.
Wow.
So we have a floor trumper and a wall trumper.
That's amazing. Are the bugs sentient, or are they just defending their...
They know when you grabbed one of the eggs from their nests.
Okay.
And they're... No, it doesn't seem like they're sentient enough. I've leveled up my guy enough where I can tame a bug.
Oh.
And so it's like a dog.
Okay. Oh, okay. So not like...
What was it that was like... Were you talking about it last week? That was... There was like a race of something in some world where... They know enough. Oh, alien. Okay, you weren't. I don't think you were talking about it. So, like the xenomorphs, they're not sentient, but they are enough to be smart about survival.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
But they're not like their main evolutionary process is survival, but not necessarily higher thinkers.
Yeah. So
I would say the Tyranids are like a step below xenomorphs.
They're instinctual. I would call them.
Well, I don't know. There's a wiliness about xenomorphs. Hello, sunshine. So yeah,
cunning. That's a good one. Yeah.
What is it?
Cunning.
Cunning.
Yeah, they're right. They're not self-aware, but
as to survive, like if you know to like be quiet for a second. That's a step up, and that's a xenomorph. These guys are like, bruh, don't touch my thing.
Okay. So they have like D&D would call like high animal intelligence.
Sure. Yeah.
Or
like
old
Sixth
D&D would call
Sense
that.
or something like that.
That makes sense.
They definitely are. They're protecting the brood, and they're mad at us. Hey, bud.
And Ro, yes, 100%. Look, and I watched Mandalorian. There are parts of it I like. I love everything with Baby Yoda. Overall, I'm just kind of bored by the show. But I love that other people like it.
Do we ever see his face?
Would you want me to give spoilers?
Yeah, go for it.
Yes. No other sentient people in the show see it. That's the important thing. That's season 1, so it's an old spoiler.
I thought it was...
I'm not impressed. I like that it's doing well, because that means more Star Wars for all of us, and they'll do different Star Wars things.
Too.
Which is... And again, I talked about this with Star Trek the other day. I'm not a huge fan of Lower Decks, but I like Discovery. I wasn't a huge fan of Picard. But so again, but it's fine. I'm glad that there's different things for different people, and as long as a property is doing well, they'll branch out and do different things for different fans, which I'm all about.
And that's the thing is they
to?
don't have to create content for everybody.
Sure.
You should actually watch this really great video of Freddie Prinze Jr. going off. Like,
oh about
this is not for you.
Right. Yeah, no, I did see it. Yeah, he knows everything about Star Wars.
Who is it?
Is everything okay? There's just weird knocking.
Who is it, buddy?
Did you lock? When the little one locks out other people.
He's cunning.
Yeah, exactly. If you're here watching and you are not a Warhammer fan, that's totally fine too.
It's not for everybody, right?
No, it's not for everybody.
There's an argument to be made that your enthusiasm makes it interesting to me,
I would imagine, yeah.
And again, it goes back to the conversation of like, if it makes you feel welcome in a community or better understood, what?
No, I'll get to a comment. Go ahead.
I want to learn Scott. Teach me.
No, it wasn't that one. Finish what you were saying.
No, that. I mean,
okay.
I'm just talking to talk.
Okay. Black Cavalier, they are not locked down, and so when we had an earthquake a few weeks ago, I'm still cleaning up. Actually, I don't know. Well, you can't see, but in the back of this shelf, there's a bunch of figures that fell down in the back that I have to pick up one of these days. But thankfully, these doors, they're heavy-duty glass. They're attached by really powerful magnets. So worst case scenario, everything falls down on each shelf, but not everything is gonna come down.
It'd be unlikely for it to get jarred open.
Yeah, you could do blue tack, but
especially on glass, it's like,
yeah.
Ooh.
Are you looking at Gollum or
no
Ming the Merciless?
But both of them.
Okay.
That is so cool. White. Also, who's
junky.
that young version of the?
Wait, which one?
From the Star Trek, the guy with the big brain.
Oh no, that's from Twilight Zone. That's the Canamit from To Serve Man. I got a million random.
Well, no, he's got a Flash Gordon and Ming.
Yeah, it's mixed up.
Okay,
they're
question.
all approximately the same. Similar scale.
Who is the person that picked up the ring at the end of the movie?
Which movie?
Flash. Gordon.
Oh,
they pick up the ring and it goes the end ? And someone grabs the ring.
I don't remember. Okay. I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Gollum.
Gollum. That's what I assumed so.
What's his face took up the mantle.
It's a great movie. I just haven't seen it in a very long time. I tried to show it to Benjamin not too long ago, and it didn't grab him fully.
He's a little too young.
Yeah,
he needs to be at the right age to understand the camp of it.
Yeah, 100%.
And you need to teach him about Queen first and go Queen because I have the record.
He already knows. Too. He already knows Queen.
Well, then tell him that a queen completely did this thing and it's incredible.
Yeah.
Finger toes to the rescue.
Buckaroo Banzai, amazing movie. Have you seen that one?
We haven't talked. This was an early debate in my beginning streaming life.
What's the debate?
No, Uzi's been talking about it since then, and then stopped talking about it.
Okay.
And here we are today. Still haven't watched it.
All right.
Would I like it?
I think you would. I have it on some form or another. Thank you for the follow.
Guacamole.
How you doing, buddy?
You're so lucky to get that screening. That's cool.
That's true, yeah. So here's a little tidbit if you want to be super, super nerdy, like to the extreme. That's fine. I'm talking to everybody.
You know better.
The name that's
different.
The name Xenomorph.
Let's do it.
Does not appear in the first movie, in Alien.
No, I know.
That's in Aliens, and that's used to describe creatures that they don't know what they are when they come across them. So technically, according to a lot of like the most hardcore fans, they are not xenomorphs. They are just an unnamed species. They could be classified as xenomorphs, but that's not
let's think about the derivative of the word. What does xeno mean?
Xeno means literally alien, other, yeah.
So when people are xenophobic, they are afraid of the other.
Of the other, yeah. The outside.
Okay.
We have children in the room, which again, not technically allowed to show on stream, unless you have power. But they can talk. Say hello.
Hi.
That mouth is used for.
Yeah, call Giger. What did you call them? Children cannot technically be on stream. When I started streaming, I read through like all of the rules, and technically you have to be 13 years old to use Twitch. It's in the user agreement. And if you are between 13 and 18 or whatever the age you have adulthood in your area, you agree to only use Twitch with an adult present. And so likewise, you can't have anyone younger than 13 on stream. Now, does everybody follow that rule? No. And as some of you may remember, if you have been watching me that long, but way back on Geek and Sundry, Benjamin would come on when he was 2 and 3 years old and do fun stuff, and it was great. And I just assumed that it was okay, but apparently that the rule had been there the entire time. But as Pete and some other ones let me know, basically Geek and Sundry at that time was big enough that they could just do whatever we wanted, so we didn't have to worry about the rules. And so yeah, so Benjamin has been on Twitch when he was very little, but cannot be on now because I'm not big enough to flaunt the rules.
To get away with it and have it benefit your numbers?
Yes. And yes, no nipples. Well, except in certain instances. Have you read all those rules about like body paint and if you're outside? They're all of these nitty gritty rules.
You think I read rules?
Well,
because
no.
I did see someone's nip when she was body painting.
Yeah, because the rules are different.
Is she allowed to have it bare before the paint? Because that was my question.
I don't think so, but it's complicated. There's a whole set of rules for body painting specifically. There's some lady, I don't know her name, but she does like these really amazing superhero body paints on Twitch.
I think that's who I saw.
Yeah,
and
it probably was.
Ah.
Yes. Babies. No babies. I don't know, maybe a baby.
Here's the thing. It's to mitigate bad things.
Sure.
Or at least put their gauntlet down, like, hey, this is not something we tolerate. This is not what we exist for.
Yeah, I'm not saying the rules are not there for a reason, but sometimes, they can be arbitrary.
Think about it. If your kid's really funny.
Well, by definition, it's arbitrary, but go on.
Well, yeah.
But go ahead.
But by colloquial, our definition, it's not technically. Because, think about it. Your kid that's funny, that has 1 million TikTok views, because you're pimped him out.
Sure.
You put him in front of a camera for 6 hours. That's labor law issues.
Yeah.
You're basically pimping out your kid.
Yes.
And that kid doesn't have the say.
You're giving me ideas.
Although, you know what? They're cute enough.
And of course, really at the end of the day,
why else do you have kids?
You can do anything on Twitch as long as none of you are reporting us.
Fair enough.
So, I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Don't report us for our bad behavior.
So I wanted to talk to you. You're an artist. You're an amazing painter.
Tell my mom.
So I wanted to talk to you about color.
Which is why you asked me about a color wheel yesterday.
Yes, because I did cover this
Are you gonna test me?
my... No. There's no testing involved.
I was excited.
Because I don't know enough about color.
Okay. But you have an aesthetic.
Barely. So I talked about this on my Warhammer stream this week. So it's a little bit of a recap for people who were there on Wednesday. We are going to spin the color wheel again. So if you could hand me those Marines, please. And then, all right. Now, what's my favorite color?
Pink.
Pink. I love the color pink. So I have a ton of Space Marines that need to be painted. Okay. And I have yet to finalize, my planning and that sort of thing.
This is not exempt from that.
Right. Thank you so much for subscribing.
Oh,
Pandar! Pandar gift subscribing. Awesome. Thank you so much. She has
no idea.
Well, she's got it now.
Very nice.
She'll have the sub badge now.
She'll never be here. Well, no. Yesterday. Hold on. Thank you, Pandar. Yesterday, before I go live, my mom's like, I don't know how to sign in. It's not working. I said, bitch, I don't know your sign in. She goes, I don't either. I was like, not my problem.
My cousin helped her create a screen
Yeah,
and everything.
well,
It
maybe
didn't
that's-
work to her
no.
benefit. Well, it does.
That's
So Patty is here now. So
My mom watches. I don't know if she's on right now, but she was very
Patty and
excited to tune in.
Evie, maybe
Hey.
friends, probably not because they
I
voted
don't know.
differently.
They might be. Maybe like an odd couple kind of situation.
It would be great. Can't
That
wait to
would
write the
be
book.
pretty- Okay, so yeah, so I have what's that thing where you have like all the nervousness to start a task unless everything is
Trepidation.
there's a term for it though. It's a specific term. Like you can't embark on a big project before you have every detail locked down. There's a word for it. I'm sure one of you knows what.
I can't wait to learn it.
Analysis paralysis. That's it.
For real?
Yeah, it's a thing. Okay, so
Meticulous noise.
So I have a that works too. So I have a giant army of Space Marines, and I have a lot of Space Marines that need to be painted one day. But I'm like, I don't know all the colors I want to do. I like pink, so I did these test Marines a long time ago, and they're cringy. They're not good, but they're pink with
you
yellow
were trying
accents.
to see this the colors.
I
are.
do like what I did with the backpacks and the silver. I think that actually turned out pretty cool. But I don't love these. And then I thought, well, I also play Chaos. My Chaos Space Marines are Emperor's Children, which are pink and black traditionally. And then I was like, well, do I want all my stuff to be pink? And so then I started looking at like a totally different color scheme. But then I looked at it and I was like, well, I like pink. I just want to do pink. So I came back and I'm trying to figure out what
to do with your pink.
So here is...
You put it in the stink.
So here's a color wheel.
This is why you have this out then.
Yes, because I was looking at a color wheel. Now I know a little... I can make this smaller so we can actually be on screen. We can have a little itty bitty color wheel. Okay, folks, here is a color wheel, right? So what is? Tell me about the. Can you tell me about the color wheel, like as a concept?
I think.
Okay. Yes.
That you're looking at a spectrum, but they've wound it.
Yes.
They put it in a circle. So you have your ultraviolets, which is your purples, right?
Okay.
And then you bring it back around to the rainbow to your reds.
Yes.
So
that makes sense.
So you know how they talk about how like two extreme opposites are actually the same,
right? Yeah, we're gonna look at that in a second.
So that's pretty much why I think they would put those two together. You have red and purple together for that reason.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't understand like the different concentric rings and.
So here's what I would say.
Like the hot and cold stuff.
The exact opposite is what's meant to go with it.
Okay. Right. I've heard that.
It can.
Okay.
Or if you take one half. That's an attitude. Or
okay,
not
yeah.
an attitude.
So, so then there's this, and this is where things get crazy with color wheel stuff. And yes, so this is when it gets to like how do you combine colors in a project?
It's like music theory, but with color.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is where my mind just falls out of my head, and this is
love that. No, because you're brilliant. But
it's the conceptual stuff like this.
I understand music theory like intrinsically.
Okay.
I couldn't explain it to you.
Okay.
I understand color intrinsically. Couldn't explain it. I mean, I'm a smarter person now than I was 10 years ago. So I'm using bigger words.
I hope we all are. I hope we all do that.
I would say 10 years ago, I'd be like, this is a great song. Don't know why.
Sure.
And my paintings were great too. I would know if it was the right color or wasn't, but I couldn't tell you why. But looking at this, yeah.
So here's where I'm starting to look at colors, and I look at my models and I'm like, okay, I like the pink. I don't necessarily love the yellow with it. I need to find other accent colors. So everybody starts off saying...
But you didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
Hold on. Look at the triadic, right?
Yes.
Move the purple to pink.
Okay, so then it would be pink,
that light
orange, and like...
That turquoise?
Yeah.
Would actually, again, you would try it and go...
Yes, that's the word, teal. Now, we should say, one note. If you are challenged as far as seeing colors, this will be a very different discussion for you. And I talked to some people who are challenged when it comes to that, and some people have very interesting ways that they do painting. Because there are people who are colorblind sometimes, and sometimes they'll go and they'll research what the company suggests colors for different factions, and they'll just do it without being able to see all of those colors necessarily. And I think
they're painting by number.
Painting by number, yeah. So if you are,
So that's
yes,
so
well, nerdy
Mr.
duck,
Hold
but yeah,
on,
but
Mr.
see-
John's right. The black and white shade is how they're able to go back and colorize, like let's say I Love Lucy's
right.
or
Well, stuff that was in
Stooges,
black and white, yeah,
because they can tell just by the gradient
yeah,
what that
that's
color was initially.
crazy.
Fascinating.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so we get the things like, okay, so the simplest is complementary, right? Top, middle. The idea is that you get two colors on the opposite ends of the color wheel, and those will work together. So when I look at that for pink, I'm like, okay, I like pink. I look at the opposite end of the color wheel, and it's like, ooh, lime green. That's gross.
But with that
I can't
particular
imagine.
green, though.
So what? Again, so on Wednesday, on Warhammer Wednesday, we were talking about this for a while. It's like I can't imagine like lime green. It would look weird. Literally, I swear to God, after the show, I was playing with the kids, and Maximilian wanders in with this.
Whoa. Whoa.
So this is just a little junky old keychain toy we have, but it is pink with lime green as
Wow.
the secondary color.
Wow.
And yeah, and it's the idea that our human brains, for most people, not everybody, depending
Accept
on how
the
you see
contrast.
color, is you accept the contrast, it pops, your eye reads it, your eye will be drawn to the popping secondary color, and it's crazy. Like, it works, even if you don't think it will. Again, not for everybody,
Well, this is
for
a
most.
specific aesthetic, though.
Oh, for yes, 100%,
So
yes.
also, this is not the same pink as this. So
Correct.
you're not looking at,
But again, if we were looking at the full wheel doesn't have that pink either.
this is not even a comprehensive wheel, though,
No,
is
no,
my
no.
point.
Got it.
So what you would need to get right with God on is what is your actual favorite pink.
Oh, so like narrow
Look
it
up
down
shades.
to the
Let's
shade.
look up shades of pink right now.
Do I have to?
And I have done this, by the way, when I'm like, this is the yellow I like. What is
Interesting.
the opposite of this?
But do I? Okay. But now I'm going to get even more crazy because now you're making me think. Do I look at? Because this is going to freak me out. Because if I find a shade that I like, I don't know that I'll be able to find a paint.
Yes, you will,
that can
because
match
you'll be
it.
able to say, I like this shade. What's the
Okay.
what's the oracular opposite of that?
No, but I'm saying like I don't know that I can find a paint.
You can
that
make
I can...
it.
Okay, sure.
I'll make a fucking bottle for you.
Is this good or do I need more?
Look at all that.
Well, no, but I'm saying,
Hold
but
on,
so I can
question,
share.
hold on.
I want to share something.
I
with
know.
them.
Shh. So far,
Yes.
have you seen it
Like on here.
anywhere?
Oh,
on
I
this
see.
page.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I like the hottest of hot pinks.
Are you seeing it better anywhere else? Then share that one. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
Oh, well, I just want to share something that looks interesting.
Well-
That
That's
what?
the one.
This is the one.
The Pantone.
This one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Pantone is where it's at.
Is it gonna give me the right?
See all files.
I don't want to do all files. I don't want you to see all my files.
Sync
Okay,
the
we're
pink.
going to. I was gonna say it if I'm. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say the whole thing.
We're adults here. Oh my God, Squirrel, it's so true.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Look at our pinks.
And I'm gonna say again, this is not a comprehensive version.
No, so well, but see, then I also start thinking about this way too much, and I'm thinking, technically, aren't there an infinite number of shades
No.
of any one color? If you,
It's not infinite. At some point, it stops. That we can see by the.
well, okay, well, that's also a different wording.
Okay,
but,
so here's the
but
thing.
yes.
I'm gonna break your bubble a little bit.
That's what I'm here for.
This is mauve.
Okay.
Closer to mauve than it is anything. It's a light mauve,
Okay.
which means you have a little more blue in here than you would a red. So,
and I don't love that shade. That was just that was the pink that was available from Games Workshop.
and if
when
I were
was-
you, I wouldn't either. Now, that being said, what you've got here is closer to like a pink ranger. So, if I were doing something with this, I'd make the accents white because Power Rangers have the white accents with
yeah,
this color
that's true.
specifically. That's why I mean, this doesn't not work, but it's just not the aesthetic you're wanting to go with ultimately.
Correct.
Like,
It's
look
not.
at how dissonant that is.
The red?
That is
Or-
so dissonant.
Yeah.
With anything. It's
So what
not
does that
even
mean? See,
hold on, I know. and that's what I mean is like I know it's in my brain more than it is anything.
Sure.
That doesn't even go with that. So there is the difference between pastel. Oh, look up pastel color wheel. It'll change your brain.
Okay, well, hold on. I want to go back.
Let's
me
find
go back
your
to
pink.
what before that, because I want to talk about one more thing with this color wheel thing. And this is another thing that really kills me, is the idea that we're looking at the color wheel. This is going to block out my face anyway. So I understand complementary. I understand the idea behind it, that colors on the opposite end of this visual display actually work together for our eyeballs.
Sure.
But then you start looking at all of these other things, and it's like, it's not opposite, it's off to the side, and over here, and over there. And then it's like, well, then don't all colors work together? But it's all the specific combinations. That's where my mind then starts even getting more crazy. And like, if I say I liked pink with the opposite lime green, well, then how do I pick a third color? Or do I have to do it split complementary? Then I'm going, because yes, on my mini, I'm going to have more than just 2 colors.
Here's where I land with that is I don't go off of this.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at something.
Yes.
And go, ooh, you know what I really like there based off of what I'm seeing? Something to go there. That to go there.
Okay.
I will say this too. When I do the majority of my tings,
Yes.
what I enjoy dealing with. So I would say between the yellow, the true yellow, and that light orange is where I live with my favorite yellow. So my color is yellow. And we're going to call it marigold, let's say.
Okay.
It's probably a closer way to put it. It leans orange. It has a little bit more red than it does anything else.
Okay.
But it's not orange yet. But the contrast that I like to deal with it is in the blue.
Okay.
Which is a little bit darker than a cerulean.
Okay.
So that's not correlative, but it's perfect.
Okay.
You look at the things and it works.
Yeah.
And in a weird way, it is complementary. So I guess it's not dissimilar from the split complementary, right? So if we move this triangle point from the split complementary over to the middle, let's say, right, of that yellow orange.
Yeah.
That puts me exactly at that blue.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I don't know that.
Right.
I'm just doing it. You, I would say, are overthinking it by bringing this in.
100% I'm overthinking
But this is an awesome conversation for me to even have, because in a weird way, it's reaffirming to what my ability is to know that I see that.
Yeah. And like, okay, so like we were saying, so Hylian, yes, I totally understand.
Bro, that's a perfect way to put it.
There's what's right, and then what we personally perceive and have personal taste.
Well, and I'm the kind of asshole that's like, oh, that's not right, you fucked it up, and like I don't let people's art just be art. I like judge it.
Yeah, sure. And then Squirrel, triadic is that's why sunsets work. Yeah, I definitely get caught up in this kind of stuff.
I would say sunsets are more analogous. Because you're looking at a gradient. It's going from purple to pink to yellow to...
but those are on... Well, I don't know. Anyway.
Look at that. Purple, pink, red, like...
Well, but it... I don't know. So yeah, Demon Blight says triadic for pink would be aqua and light orange. And actually, I was talking about, there are, in the contrast line, I do actually like the orange color in that line.
Where's your paints?
Oh, they're next.
Okay. Actually, no. Next week. Let's do it. Let's mix colors.
Okay.
And find your pink. So let's go back, bring up your pink wheel.
Means I need to go buy some more paints.
No, I have it.
Oh, okay.
You also can do this with basics. The primaries should be able to, in theory, mix anything.
Okay. But are your paints the same paints that I would use on models?
They're acrylics.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah.
That's what I used on the majority.
I think, actually, what's the paint that you use?
The one I prefer is Reeves, but there's basics or a couple other different versions. I prefer Reeves, though.
Okay.
It all depends on the viscosity versus...
Sure. Okay.
Amenability. So let's look at it in a larger.
We can look at it larger.
Where's your favorite pink? Is it here? I think I know.
Okay, hold on. Let me take off my yellow tinged glasses. It's somewhere around here. 0232. Or, I mean, I like the one... I don't know. I don't want to pick the wrong one.
No, exactly. And we don't want you to. Go back to the Explorer. Go back to the search engine. Search pink between 0225 and 02240.
Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Okay. Wait, what were the numbers?
Pink between 0225 and 02240.
Wait,
because
no. 02...
look, it goes up to 232, so we want to find the middle ground.
Wait, and what? What do I want?
22240. 02240.
Oh.
Oh, wait. 0240. Sorry.
02. Okay.
Search card.
Is it gonna?
Color. Pantone color.
Well, here. Is this?
No, it just so happens that it's pulling up pink things.
Do I have?
Oh.
My safe search is off, so I don't know. No, this isn't.
Okay, look up again. Pantone pink. Just see what happens.
Pantone pink.
Just Pantone pink.
Pantone pink. Mostly what we were looking at. This one.
Just look at that. It's getting more in the territory.
Yes.
And what it's giving you is the hex codes that you would like type in.
Oh, right, sure. Like Photoshop or something.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. I like that one. Okay, let's... Can I grab this? What was this one? Color shades. Hold on. We found another pink image. Pantone... Nope. That's the same one. This one. Oh, it's huge.
It's okay. Get rid of that D6. You can push up.
What? That?
Yeah, well, we don't need that big bar of color.
Oh, I guess that's true. I'm not searching Tub Girl, Uzi. Stop it. Okay, we have more pinks. Interesting that goes to, like, I wouldn't call that.
It has red.
Sure.
That would make it and white in order to make it that.
All right.
And you would, if you were using this.
Yes.
This would be the shadow.
Oh, I see. Oh.
Similar to what you've done on your
right,
guy
yeah,
here.
because you have to, using traditional paints, you got to move.
Look.
Up from a darker.
You did it.
I did.
You were
That's
actually
true.
look
That's
at that.
True.
You're probably living here.
Mm-hmm. For that one.
With that. Oh, I've never seen it. Let's watch it.
No, nope.
So where's your color? Where does it live? Is it close? Is it here?
Okay, my color is. It's somewhere here. Maybe this one? I think it's this one.
Funnily enough, they look very similar to me. Look
These
up
two?
Look up the opposite of DO2494.
Just type that in?
Yeah. Color opposite of hashtag. Put
opposite
color in now.
Okay. Can you all see what color we're looking at? Oh, that's not right. Where'd it go? Oh. Sorry, I have so many windows open. D02494. 024.
No, Uzi only sees the tub girl. He's trolling you.
Color opposite of. Okay.
Look at that.
Wait, so. Hold on, what am I looking at here, though?
So you're looking at different combinations, not perfectly, because it's the internet.
Oh, thank you, Arsenal Roy, for gifting a sub. So do I look at this?
Yeah, look at that.
Okay.
Wowie. Ooh, go back. You can use that. Put that up there to people, but look up color complements to hex code.
It's getting complicated.
No, well, we're trying to figure. This is science.
It is. Okay, so this gave me that these are the
complementary colors to what you said in
Right.
that.
Okay, now what
So
what do you-
look up complementary. What did I say? Hex code. Oh, color opposite. Oh, complementary colors of hex code. Da 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 da. So even that hashtag, keep that, but say hex code.
Are you sure I even need that?
Mhm.
Wouldn't just complementary colors?
You're just increasing the odds of your search.
Hold on, I just want to look. Not even that many things come up though. That's interesting that blue. Now here. So here's an interesting thing. One of the things that I liked from some of the other testing that I did on some other miniatures was I liked a shade of blue that I used on the guns and on the eye lenses. And there's a blue there that I like.
Well, and that's what we're having a problem finding. Look up opposite color hex code for da 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 da. It exists, but it might not be specifically like on a website.
Opposite color. Can I just write code? Or do I need?
It's got to be the green.
I'm thinking it would be like that one.
Go to a website. What does it say when you search it on the website?
Or do I add Pantone? No.
Go to a website.
Which website?
Hit all.
What are the colors that?
Hit that.
This one? Okay.
Conversion.
Oh my god, look at all these things. Color description, strong pink. It's strong. Whoa, look at all this stuff.
Whoa!
Holy crap.
Whoa!
So this is... Okay.
Actually, that's so cool!
That's wild. How do I show...
Screenshot it.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, hold on. I'm going to show everybody this cool thing that... Monochromatic color. Oh, so if I wanted to do different shades. Oh, somebody just posted a thing. Hold on. I know there's a better way to do this, but I always do this old school.
What are you doing?
I'm making a picture. You don't do it this way?
Who has Photoshop, you know?
Oh my god. Do you know how old this Photoshop is?
It's better than not having
this
it.
old pirated version of Photoshop?
Better than not having it.
Desktop. I also have way too many folders on my
No, but you're organized at least.
I am. What do we want to call
It
this?
could be worse. You're organized.
Okay, here we go. Thanks everyone for bearing with me. I'm going to remove that one. I'm going to add...
Oh, yeah, Pandora shared where you could put the color hex in.
okay.
That's cool.
All
Look
right,
at that.
look at
That's
that.
cool.
I'll make it bigger.
Get ready to the other one. 15 minutes till kickoff. I'm trying to watch the Biden speech, so.
Oh yeah, that's not going until later. Oh, that's another really good point though, is that depending on your monitor settings, you might not be seeing the color in the exact proper code. So this is interesting though, and I do like that blue. Now if I
love that teal.
So is the idea though that if I use that blue,
It doesn't necessarily mean you have to always use those two colors.
Sure.
If you were to put in the hex code for that blue,
Yeah.
other things would show up.
Right.
What it's showing you is what's complementary, to that.
Sure. To that.
It's going to be okay.
Yes. Okay. So now I just have to find paints that will match.
You can mix that.
Right. Inexpensively?
If you have white, red, yellow, and blue, you can mix anything.
Okay. But I also need a lot of it.
Go to Amazon right now. Which, by the way, I'm canceling Amazon. Motherfuckers.
Aren't we always canceling Amazon?
I am now.
It's just hard to live without it. I only know how to buy overpriced paints from miniature companies.
Look at that. Blick. It's got it.
Blick, blick, blick. I don't like the name. Excuse me.
Look is a good paint. It's just not my favorite.
Okay. All right. Well.
And if you bought their 64, which is $50 or something like this, they have those colors. But you want to get good at mixing.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, what did John share? Opening pin on color palettes.
Ooh, yes. Ooh.
Oh wow. Oh my goodness, look at all this.
God, it's so yummy. So like, ooh.
That's a good pink right there.
Ripley did this for one of our photo shoots.
Oh.
It's a great way to look up what's a movie you like? What's a movie you like?
Like Star Wars? Like just
look
any
up the
movie?
Star Wars what's the word? The color palette.
Oh, that's not good.
You can learn a lot about yourself, especially when you know what colors you're drawn to or movies you're drawn to.
Interesting. Buckaroo Banzai, there you go. Okay, so just for example, oh weird. That's
They
interesting.
tend,
Sure.
or it's the aesthetic, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I would look up Wes Anderson's films, and I would look at Royal Tenenbaums. There's a very clear palette there.
Yes.
And that movie works for that reason.
Yeah, what's the color palette of Human Centipede?
Oh. Okay, let's tell everyone bye.
Okay, bye. Thanks everybody for hanging out. We will continue talking about colors next week.
I'll pee in a minute. It'll be fine.
Okay. Well, colors next week. We'll continue.
So I will bring my paints.
Okay, cool. And I'll have all mine, and we can.
While you're talking, I will
Yes.
mix.
Okay.
And chat will help me remember what amounts of what I've used
Okay.
in order. But honest to God, you could look that up. It would tell you how
That's
much
true.
of what
Yeah, I'm
to
sure
use.
somebody else has made that.
Especially since you're overthinking it so much.
Oh
it's
yeah,
there.
for sure.
Also,
like, way
fuck,
overthinking.
dude. So you're right. Like, your son brought this up and you're like, oh, this works.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that paint with that red.
That's true.
Well, and so gather the inspiration you have. Look at
Oh, just finding things around. Yeah.
Look at the inspiration you have with those Batmans.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? It's there. Like, hold on. Look. This is a pink. And look at how good it goes with that. It's all around you. Go back to the ponies.
I mean, we are literally in a room full of toys
Hold
and
on.
things in different colors.
Why aren't your fucking guys look like that? Hold on. That's so good. Show them. That's awesome. That's cool. Don't you want that with a gunmetal? Stop.
I like the pink. I don't like the full aesthetic.
Well, then you're fucking out of control.
Oh, look, I mean, color is everywhere. It's all around me.
But you also, oh, girl. But that's also how you get it too, right? Like, it's like,
Sure,
actually,
right.
I don't
Well, that's
like
true.
that.
No, because then I can, if I picked a pink thing that I liked and a blue thing I liked, I could hold it up next to
Look
each other.
at the yellow.
see if
Applejack
it
is
works.
great for that. It's not Applejack.
That's Fluttershy.
You like Fluttershy too.
Well, hello. Why do you think I did pink and yellow
and
on my?
yellow.
That's where I got
but
the
you
colors.
did a mauve and a fucking pastel. What the fuck? It's bullshit.
Wow. Wow.
Look at her. Is that Fluttershy as a human?
Yes.
I can't even.
Yes,
I
of
can't
course.
even.
That's the Equestria Girls version of
I
Fluttershy.
can't even. It's so gross to me.
It's,
Look at
it's only gross if you make it gross. Okay.
That's
all
your
right.
pink.
Okay. So for next week we'll get what do we call these inspirations?
All I'm saying is it's here. And,
It is,
and when
yes.
you, for me, that's why it's intrinsic.
Mhm.
It's because I go, oh, I really liked how this looks. And I might Google it or whatever.
Yeah.
This- Okay, if you're not following.
I need to organize all my figures by color. No.
Oh, yeah, let me do it.
Wow. No. You can do the Batmans. That you can do.
I mean, that's a perfect. That's the
That's-
palette.
Yeah.
You could use that palette.
Right. Just to look at the different colors together.
Look at how good they all work together.
Yeah.
That's purposeful
Yes.
in the design
Yeah, no,
of
that makes
that
sense.
style. So if you're not following Scott, you have a problem. You've been fucking slurping his stream right now and getting free content. Subscribe,
Slurp us.
homie. What are you doing? Also, just follow. At the very least, you can follow.
Yeah. Follow
And tune in next week for some Paintalicious,
yes.
Pinkalicious, Black Cavalier 1642. Never
right.
forget the English Civil War. Remember the 5th of November.
Galileo Galilei.
I can't.
Yes, and tonight we will be on with the rest of the Homebuddies for Homebuddies stream. Make sure you are in the Homebuddies Discord.
Or
if you're
don't,
not
just
already.
avoid it completely.
No, that's where you can talk to us more. You can get access to us like 24 hours a day.
We are very available.
I am extremely available because I barely sleep.
Huge game on.
I don't know
Oh,
anything
Squirrel,
about that.
you're exempt.
Okay.
Scaramouche, Scaramouche, and the button dangle, and the button lightning,
what else was I going to say?
Galileo, 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 Figaro, Benefico.
Yes, exactly, Panda. Yes, it's on Cameron Rice's channel tonight. The Cameron Rice. And I will be back after tonight, Monday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific time.
I'm doing mushrooms tomorrow, so who knows what's going to happen this week.
Okay. Are you going to stream it?
This is not a good enough reception where I'm going.
Oh, I see. Yes, Monday, we're reading Ovid's Metamorphoses, which has been super interesting. Wow. The incest stories have been fantastic. The transformations.
So you're going to put that up on YouTube when it's done, yeah?
Yeah, I've started to.
So
export.
also, you need to have
yes.
a command for your YouTube, because if you're not subscribed to Scott on YouTube and you missed this stream, you'll be able to find it on YouTube. Thank you for all the VOD watchers out there and the listeners. We are not ableist here. We are unifists.
Try not to be.
So today we hope you have Metamorph Phenomenal.
Metamorph Phenomenal, that's right.
I really gotta pee. Just end the fucking stream.
Okay, all right. I'd like to draw out the endings as long as possible.
Really awkward.
Yeah, so everybody have a great day. Have a great rest of your weekend. And we'll see you next time. Okay, bye.